All right, we are live. This is the Code Breakers. This is Paradox.
Yo, and this is DC and the place to be. What up, what up, what up, man?
What up, man? It's April 26th, 2025. So we have been told.
So we have been told.
We are here.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Let's get going. Play a little something. Get the energy up a little bit.
Let's get it cranking.
I really need a little go-go, but thinking about it now, but it's all good.
Ready? Let's do it. I'm the definition of half man, half drugs, ass the clubs, bad boy, that's what's up. After bucks, crush crews after us. No games, we ain't laughing much. Nothing but big things. Check the hit list, how we twist shit. What changed with the name? We still here, you're rocking with the best. Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. Who's the boss? Dudes is lost. Don't think cause I'm iced out, I'ma cool off. Who else but me? And if you don't feel me, that means you can't touch me. It's ugly, trust me. Get it right, dog. We ain't never left. We just move in silence and rep to the death. It's official. I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continues. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Straight from the Harlem streets. I don't play y'all pussy down with the Harlem heat. All of a sudden niggas got a problem with me. Black, what happened? They running around acting like the black don't can't eat. And you know what? For some strange reason, I'm on for this medication, feeling deranged, needing for y'all to put the word out. We ain't leaving. We trying to be rich before we all stop breathing. Therefore, we kind of hustle lanes. Stay laying down our muscle games. Still turn niggas' dreams to flames. You got the wire? If not, I ain't saying no names. You soon expire. No pain. I feel remorse. The subconscious, me and Diddy up first, raising pulses with the big twin valve exhausters. On the cover of your vibes, double XLs and sauces, bitch.
We ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere. Come on, DC. We ain't going nowhere.
I know you love that joint.
They not ready.
That's your
Going
song.
nowhere. Come on now. Come on now.
It is
Shit changed since the notorious. See everything still glorious.
Woo, boy, I don't even want to give no more. It's too much. I don't even want to give no more. They not ready. They not ready. We're gonna do a little bit of Dion. We're gonna do a little bit of Dion motivation before we get going. I'm gonna play this little ether, a little bit of ether, a little bit of ether here.
Shoot, Dion wanted to kick all this craziness off anyway in the first place.
Of course.
It's crazy.
What'd he do?
About me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me. Your opinion is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me. So you ain't nothing you can do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what would change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care. And I wish the world thought like that. Youngsters, if you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinion people have of you. Long as that opinion is not consistent of that of yourself. You be you. I'm not playing to make you feel good about me. I already feel good about me. I'm good. Message for the youngsters out there. And the old school, not old fools. Look at me.
Oh man. Oh boy. the great Deion Sanders, man. It's like I know this is people is not going to see the comparison, but this probably what was meant by somebody like a Jack Johnson, where he kind of like just transcended his time frame and was just before you could do it that way, and his safety was at risk. The audacity to kind of be like, I'm just gonna do and be who I am, regardless of any of this that you guys are talking. I don't care. I'm a taunt. I'm gonna be me, And man, it's you just have to applaud when you see it to that level of somebody that's that in tune with themselves and know that the attack that's coming from the outside has a lot more to do with those people, filtering the attack, trying to formulate a narrative around you, and you still stand 10 toes down. Yeah, salute to you, sir. Salute to you. This is not even about agreement or disagreement, but salute to you, your children, your family, and everything. So, yeah, I always been a big fan of those that are strong in mind, especially because people do try to affect your reality, man. And it goes beyond the field of play. By the way, yeah. So go ahead, man. This is your thing. I know you wanted to kind of get into it, man. So let's rock, man. Just let's jump right in.
Trying to keep my blood pressure down. I shouldn't be disvested.
Well,
I shouldn't be disvested.
Man. I think people know where I stand with it. You already know. It's easier for me to manage my emotions if I look at it that way. But I don't, I ain't gonna belabor the point.
No, you're right. I mean, it's like you said, just to start off, we know, like as you say, I mean, we know what it is. So of course, on some level, it's not that heavy. His father's a $100 millionaire man. So I mean, he's a millionaire. When we talking about before, he has NIL, he got money, he got fame, he has everything already.
Status.
He's really built for the moment. And he's built for the moment. I mean, he's been under pressure. Deion made sure he's been under pressure for 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, he's been on camera since he was a child, since a baby, and so he's very comfortable with everything. His stats are great. Man, I don't think you would argue with me. We never consider him elite. We never consider him special from an eye test, right? You know what I'm saying? Like just some of those great guys in college who were super fast. It was just amazing. We obviously we know he wasn't that. From my opinion, but I always looked at him, and like I always bring up Dak Prescott and other players where it's really about having a stabilizing force at the quarterback position. Because does Dan Marino have a championship, DC? I'm just checking. So like you can have a lot of great attributes, which is wonderful. And maybe you should go number 1, number 2, number 10, number 20. Now Deion is doing business at the same time, right? He's marketing his children. He's trying to get his children into the league. Now, unlike a LeVar Ball, which I think he's the opposite of, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 5 greatest of all time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he has, he's connected to the NFL. He promotes the NFL. He does deals. I mean, I'm gonna put Shador to the side for a second, but from a Deion perspective, he does deals. He negotiates. He works with Colorado, with Jackson State, with college sports. He promotes the sport. He doesn't approach anything from a selfish perspective, from how I see it. He does it the way it should be done, which is his way, his style, but being respectful, right?
Right.
He keeps God in front. He tries to approach it in a certain way. He gives great advice. He tries, it's from his perspective. It'd be different if it was if it, what do you call it? If it didn't stand for anything, right? It was just all fluff, right?
Yeah.
It was just, it was nothing really there, nothing really behind it. So
Yep.
to see him raise these boys through all the turmoil, through all his things that he went through mentally or whatever, and to be on the big stage and just that whole process, you know what I'm saying, and having, from what we thought at least, having great relationships with Dallas, with the Raiders, with the Giants, and with some other teams. Like, he's had relationships with obviously teams that he's played for as well, and so it's not like he's ever, as far as we know, we don't know. Of course, we don't know necessarily behind the scenes as far as we know, but he is who he is. And we'll get into the race thing, obviously in a minute, which is what you really want, by the way.
No, hold. I'm not. We don't have to.
I'm a caveat that for you over there.
I don't have to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about. I'm just going to talk about the subject. This is not. Yeah, I don't.
Right. I know, but I know that because that's the foundation of the environment that we're in. I know that that's going to be at play. But like we were talking about before, you have guys who would always say they wanted guys to, we know the league we know the sport has changed, obviously, but generally, historically, it was sitting in the pocket, being smart, being patient, having a good touch on the ball, etc. And if you could be mobile, which he is, then you got everything you need, and we've even seen it with Lamar Jackson, not to take a shot to him, but in some other, even your boy up in Buffalo, guys who, and even Michael Vick for that matter, guys who are very RG3, guys who are very talented at that position in that way, and even Mahomes had to learn the hard way, is that's not. And I'm a championship person, and you know that obviously, DC. There's no confusion, right? There's no confusion. Yeah. I don't care. I don't get it to all you. You have all this great talent, and you don't have to win championships, and you're just this great guy. You just happen to be in the wrong situation. Don't care. Don't mean nothing to me. That's just me, though. I don't care about all that.
Yeah.
You can leave teams. You can get traded. You can cut yourself. You can leave. Don't sign the contract. Go somewhere else. Figure it out. I don't want to hear all that. So unless you get injured, of course, that's a different thing in your first year or two, something like that. But outside of injuries, you make choices. Dak Prescott disappointed me. I felt like he brings a very good thing to an organization that can stabilize a team and allow you to go get a ring. And he chose the money and the fame in the Dallas. I'm leave it there. I know that's your people there. I'll leave it there. But my point is that I look at things through the lens of a championship, and I know that if you go in the top 10, I mean, like I said, blessing and a curse, right? You can go in the top 10, you're going to end up being on a bad team, and most likely that team is probably not going to win anything, and it's just what it's going to be. I think about 50% of first round picks historically don't get a second contract. So there's all different type of ways, obviously, to look at this and to approach it. But I think from a Deion perspective, because of how he is, I understand he's going to have hate. But really, you have hate either way. You can be humble or not. You still get hate. Doesn't really matter. Deion has delivered, though. He's not missing. Right, he's doing things that, of course, he was told that couldn't be done his whole life, and he's still delivering on that. And he got Travis Hunter to go number 2, and of course, Travis will go number 1, number 2, no matter where he played at, obviously. But Deion always talking about behavior, making sure you have the, he cuts players if you don't have your right grades. Mm-hmm. He's not playing. He's not even doing the shady stuff that a lot of other teams and organizations do anyway. I mean, just think about all of that part.
You can't even be 5 minutes. You can't even be 5 minutes early to a meeting that he has. You're late. That's what
his son didn't play in the championship game.
That's what I'm saying. If the meeting is for 6:30, you got to be your ass in the seats by 6:20. That's what kind of time he's on. So right. just to let people know, he is what everybody wants it to be: the standard, the timeliness, the discipline, the accountability when it comes down to getting your grades, your books, all of that, tutoring,
your grades,
yes,
right? Tutoring.
Just becoming, even if you wasn't going to be a NFL player or even extend to those kind of heights, if he can't help you get to that particular point, he's going to do everything he can to help you in your career and stuff like that. This is what's been. People have been saying this about him, like he is the personification of a college academic kind of coach, where academics is primarily first, and then you can extend to the heights of trying to get.
You know why? You know why, right? because
As
only
far as
1% is going. Only 1% is going.
Yeah.
He knows that I need you guys to get your education because only about 1% of y'all get in the league. So that means your career comes to an end in 4 years or 5 years. That's it.
Yeah.
And so you need to stress this because he knows that so many of his friends, all his life, all those generations, that they got used up by college. They didn't do school, and now they're just out there, depressed, all kind of issues. Trying to deal with being
even some of y'all that deserve to go won't even actually get to go because of whatever. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Yeah. Controllables and stuff like that.
So you got a guy where a lot of other coaches won't even, they don't care. They front. I mean, they use you up, and then they dump you.
And they dump
in college.
Yep.
Deion is telling them, look, I'm letting you know right now. We can prepare you for the league, but this is what's important right now. I can just take you to just so many, just video after video after video after just endless amount of information and interviews to where there is so many shady coaches, bro. The colleges are just using you. Just to use your fame to take advantage of you and to move you on up out of there. Don't care about your grades, your behavior. They actually covered a lot of that stuff up.
None of it. Don't care about the player.
Deion, bro. Deion comes to you and tells you he's so rare and it's so honest and it's so straightforward. Yeah. It's very difficult to deal with because everybody normally plays games with everything.
Yeah.
That's what makes him, to me personally, that's what makes him unique. Comparing to other college coaches, NFL coaches, organizations, etc., is that it's just how he's approaching because he's one of the greatest ever. He's been through it all. He's seen it all. And so the value is so high. Because I'm going to tell you something. What they're doing to Shedeur, I think, will also affect players coming to his it's going to have some impact.
Yeah.
It could be, and I don't know if it's going to go, I don't know which way it's going to go with that. Because they will use this to say whether you sure you want to go to Colorado. Like, I'm telling you. There are going to be coaches in the league.
Man, look.
Right? They're going to be saying, in college, they'll be saying, "You sure you want to go to Colorado?" Yeah, I know, but look what happened.
Look what happened.
See, they're sort of. You see, they're sort of. It's very. You know what I'm saying? It's just very interesting.
Nasty work.
It's just right. It's a lot of layers to it, and I get it. Like you said, I get it because you're talking about 32 teams that have mostly their conglomerates, their groups. I think I don't know how many families are left in the NFL, but everybody got egos, right? And I remember, and we're gonna play some videos in a minute, but it was just interesting that they was concerned about. Well, he built this thing, in the house for the draft thing, and they had the ESPN had a booth set up there, and it said legendary. And I'm gonna play Marcellus Wallace in a minute. I think he did somewhat of he balanced it, but he is trying to give you just from his perspective. Just the cold hard truth about business, and everybody's learning. Me and you know, anyone who's over whatever 25, 30, you already know. That this is just it's business, and business tends to be personal. It's for high. You know, I used to say business is business. It ain't personal. I've never believed it. I've always said business is personal, but it's my own thing, right? It's personal. People you want your owners, quote unquote. They want or your dean of the school or the head guy. You want them to feel good. It's all of this other stuff that's layered into that, and they want to feel like they chose you. They want to feel like. They're basically operating you, basically, right? And the moment there is, like you said, the moment there is some sort of disruption with that flow of process, now it's an issue, right? Because everybody keeps saying, well, he didn't do drugs, he didn't do the essay. This is bigger than all that. It's bigger than drugs and having the girls, a bunch of, you got a bunch of chicks pregnant, or you out here wilding, or you done got into a crazy car crash when you was drinking, or whatever, right? You can just go on and on and on. Remember they was doing, what was it, Jameis Winston? What did he do? Steal some chicken or something? What was it? What did he do? Remember that? Stole some. It was an orange soda, like he was at a KFC or something, or something happened like at a Popeyes or something with a laptop. I don't know. It was something.
Well, he did a couple of. Jameis did a couple of crazy stuff, but
right. But it was that one thing that I remember.
Yeah, what he used to do, I think he was at the school and he used to just walk out with food, or they had like a certain restaurant at FSU, and he used to just carry food out all the time and do stuff like that. And then like he got like a stolen laptop. He did a lot of things at
right.
At
My
Florida State.
point is that the way the media dealt with it was almost like, well, this is what we want. We can deal with you if you like this. You fall into that package. You fall into that sort of box. Or
He
you can be
still
the
went
humble
number
kid.
one. He still went number one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's my point. Yes, that's my whole point. And I mean, you take what's my man's name? What we were talking about before? Out of Texas.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. Now
Baker Mayfield.
Right now, Now I'm not comparing them to Shador. I won't do that. They're special. And you can take. I don't know how you see that from a college perspective, but I mean Baker and Johnny. I mean, that was greatness in my opinion. Am I wrong about that? I was entertained.
I would argue the point.
Well, clean that up for me.
When you said it earlier, that you didn't see anything special in Shador. Now, me personally, the way I view football, especially from the quarterback position, I do think that he's special. I think processing fast matters, especially when you don't have a line that's in front of you. I don't know if people understand how hard it is to process what Shador was going through when he was at University of Colorado. I saw it from like the first couple of games where he's dealing with immense pressure, man. Where like I think it was one game, man. I think they were playing either USC or UCLA, where these kids were getting killed, man. It almost looked like a high school team trying to block college kids. It was unfair. Like his tackle looked like he was like around 6 feet. It was just mixed match. They did a lot better in the second year, of course. Hence their record and their winning record, and then his stats and stuff like that. I mean, they did a little bit better, but just the fact that he had to cover a lot of this, where it was just him and Travis out there, and you gotta remember they came out of D1. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jackson State may be D1 now, Division 2.
I think either one or two, yeah.
AA. Well, they're still not the main Division 1 school. Of course, Jackson State isn't. So they came out of the Black College HBCU talent field into basically playing in the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 or whatever it's called out west, and competing on that kind of level at a school that was depleted of any kind of talent. There was no talent at the University of Colorado. They were getting their ass handed to them, like literally, bruh. And the fact that, forget Deion for a minute. I'm just talking about the kids on the field. When you go into all that and what he had to deal with and to play at the level that he played at, to me, yeah, that's special. Because like I said, a quarterback is supposed to be basically the captain of the team, the distributor of the football, being able to make plays. Your specialness, when you can equate the athletic ability to be able to make time or to get tough yards in tough situations, yeah, that is still equated into the quarterback position. But it's how you incorporate all of those skills and things of that nature in the skill set. It can't be separate from what the quarterback initially is. Hence the reason why they do separate the kids that are like more so directly where they use their athletic ability as at the quarterback position, but that's the primary thing that they have. So they don't go through the actual progression. They don't look over the field. They don't look at the defenses. They don't understand the defenses primarily. Shador is the most mentally prepared quarterback in the draft. If you're looking at it from the standpoint of playing in a pro offense when he was at Colorado, his father has had him in a pro offense since high school, if I'm not mistaken, bro. Like
that is correct.
Getting him ready for the pro game. So he is mentally prepared. He has a step up on a lot of people. That's why I say forget his dad. So that's what I'm saying. This is at best, this is trying to teach Deion a lesson. At best, that's what I'm saying. I'm going at best. That's what this is. It gets worse from there because there is no reason why he would go past the first round. Yeah, okay, you may not like him past Cam Ward. I understand all that. Ward had his own struggles of getting to where he needed to go because
Sure
he went through different schools too to get. If you check his history, it's very very similar where he went through a smaller school, got to the bigger school, and then his talent flourished. So it's not all just straight. I guess your number one recruit coming out of high school. He wasn't even. I think he was like a 1-star, 2-star recruit coming out of high school. So he worked himself up too. So that's hard work. That's determination. He had to work himself and make himself into a player. There is a lot of different things about this situation. What I didn't like is that they tried to. That's what I'm saying. They caveat him against Cam Ward. But if you don't like for whatever reason, if you see Cam Ward as being able to make different plays primarily out of the pocket, things of that nature, which makes him a little bit more better and special than Shador, then yes, I can accept that argument. But you can't put no argument where you're going to include another quarterback in the college game that is better and working for a pro football team in a down year for quarterbacks outside of Shador. He should have been the second quarterback taken off the board. Period, bruh. Period. That's just strict evaluations off the talent, personality, leader of the team, having things on his shoulders, being able to process things faster, being able to acclimate to a football team, being your franchise starter going into, whatever year, 1-2 year program. If you want to kind of ramp him up, you can do that. What has happened is that they have basically, for whatever reason, like I said, at best, this is a Dion, we're going to teach you through your son kind of job. And I know that's low hanging fruit, but they have put themselves in a position to where they say, well, we're going to have to humble him. First of all, that's not an evaluation. Humbling somebody is not an evaluation in the draft, bro. You can humble somebody by getting, you can humble him while you get him on your team because you're looking at the talent. But that's what I'm saying. They shunned the talent and try to make the quarterback position all about running and going out of football. Now that's the big deal. Now we're doing that. So now all that matters now. See how you can shine the light and you can make something the way you want to make it. You can make the argument however you want to make it because, like I said, Jackson Dart and Tyler Sloth and all these other guys, nobody knew who these guys were. Not unless you was really deep into the draft. Like seriously, nobody would say these guys were better than Shador Sanders. Even going into the draft, nobody would say that. Maybe I heard a couple of Jackson Dart arguments, but outside of that came late.
Jalen Milroy.
Dude, Jalen
Tyler Shook
Milroy and all that kind of stuff, because that's what I said about the athletic ability. They say he leaned too much on his athletic ability.
And Dylan Gabriel, Lord have mercy, bro.
So that's where this is coming from. So there is a lot of issues when you look at
what makes them anomalous. What you just said was I was going to get into that part of it. I was just saying from a pure college perspective. You know that it is about those quarterbacks who was putting on the big show. None of them really have transitioned into the NFL to be anything special. It ends up being Tom Brady back up his whole career stuff for the last few games of his last year in college, and then on and on and on, and he becomes one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. So we know it's not that. So my whole point was I understand that there are certain intangibles and certain things, 6'5", 240, big arm, or very, very fast, as a quarterback, either way, and how exciting that is strictly from a college perspective. But from a quarterback that's prepared, that is elite from that perspective, that's where I put him, by the way. That's what I meant when I said that, by the way, is that he's processing the game. He's already ready to actually be great in the NFL. Because in the NFL, me and you both know that a lot of those special so-called talents, it gets checked, and it comes down to dealing with pressure, leadership, adjustments, making adjustments year in and year out, making the changes. I mean, me and you were both impressed that I didn't think it was even going to happen. That what's our boy name for Kansas City? I didn't think that he was going to adjust like that. That doesn't happen really.
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes adjusted his entire game.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen at that
yeah,
level.
he finally got coached. Yeah, he finally got coached.
But he's coachable.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah,
adjust.
coachable.
He can adapt.
Right.
And so, to me, that's what Shador has over the last 10 years of picks. For me, outside of like Dak Prescott type player, where they're very stable. They can deal with pressure. They can deal with the cameras. They can answer the questions. And then on the field, they can process. They can sit in that pocket. You know how many sacks he took in completions?
That's what I'm saying.
Sit there and wait.
That doesn't correlate. People don't understand. That doesn't correlate. You don't have the highest percentage in college football and get sacked the most and have the most pressures in college football and not be special. You don't have the highest completion rate of any QB in college football when you have a clean pocket. So when you operating from a clean pocket, you're the best. When you operating under the pressure, you're the best. That's special, bruh. That's special. I don't care about running 20, 30 yards down the field when you can operate, because the thing about the NFL, man, you got to be like a Lamar Jackson to make you got to be uber special. Patrick Mahomes not special athletically when it comes down to it. The same kind of athletic gifts that Patrick Mahomes has running wise is what I would kind of put Shador at. Shador is not a standing statue. He's not a straight up I'm just going to back up and he's not Peyton Manning.
No, he'll roll.
Yeah, he can roll. He can do the necessary things that are needed to do to give him time to make a throw on the run off schedule, what they call off schedule plays. He can do that too. The fact that he just didn't have time to do it in college, that should tell you something about
with the least amount of protection out of all the quarterbacks that went, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, are there some sacks that he actually have that he could have avoided? Absolutely, but there's all kinds of quarterbacks in every quarterback.
Let's not do that, right? Let's not do that, right? Because we know, man, you be counting misses in the league based off of the Dak wins. We count misses, like, man, you throwing a lot of misses to be great, right? I'm confused now.
Stop. And all these kids, the Dillon kid that went to think about the talent that he was around. You telling me that if Shador Sanders was at Oregon, bro, that he wouldn't lit up the skies?
Lit it up.
I'm talking about close to like 5,000, 6,000. I mean, we talking astronomical numbers. If he's doing that with just Travis that go both ways, and just Joe Horn's son, and I don't even know the running backs that played at Colorado that was any top 10.
Little boys.
Good.
So
these are kids learning how to play in a D1 kind of field, bro. Like that's not the same thing, bro. And they don't even have a line that's played together longer than a year or so. Like that whole line was reshaped and reformed. He's not playing with the big old hogs like you got at Alabama that Jalen Milroe played with. Man, I think three of his guys went in the first round. I mean, you talking about big hogs, man. All American. We drafted one of the guys from Alabama. He didn't allow a sack. This dude is a monster. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pancaking folks, man, on a regular basis. It's not the same. You can't compare. You got to look at the comparables, man. I don't think anybody from Colorado is getting drafted from the O-line. Like, it's not happening, bruh.
Oh no, it's not happening.
So the talent and the ability to play in a high competitive situation, being able to show your talent and to process things and to get things done on the field has to be accounted for something. That is the special that I'm talking about.
Ability is elite.
Mills, Kuiper.
I just meant from a college, just putting on. You know what I'm talking about.
But he was a better.
Show.
But that's what I'm saying. But see, what I'm saying, like those guys that you're talking about, they played at very competitive programs with a lot of talent around them. Yeah, a lot of talent around them too.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's what made him special. Is what he was dealing with. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's to me. He is special. That's what I'm saying. So I look at him. I look at him like a notch below Cam Ward.
Yeah.
if I'm looking at it from just a football lens. Now let's get to the nonsense that's off the field, right? So even outside of all of that, let's just look at the negatives, right? You know, the arrogance, the propensity to it seems, because this is not true, by the way, because nobody says it's true. It seems like he's bigger than the team, right?
Yeah.
That he is a Nepo baby. So basically, because his dad has coached him since Pee Wee League. Let's be honest, right? That he's always been in this cocoon of being protected by his father. He hasn't been
coached every game but one.
Right. He hasn't been subject to hard coaching. But everybody swears by it that Dion has went out his way to be extra hard on him. Now you can take that how you want. You can take that how you want it. Like, okay, cool. But you got to look at the results on the field, though. See, to me, it would work out if he was a guy that it just didn't match up on the field. I'm talking about Shedeur. Like, you can see it. Okay, yeah, I could see where, you know, people are coming from, where they're saying that he is not matching the hype. He's not matching the moment. He's not able. I think they had like about three comebacks where he made the last pass and they scored towards the end of the game to come back and win. Like, you have to look at that. That's what I'm saying. You got to look at those throws that he's making in coverage.
His area of offense skills, bro, was just that is not
the situation where you cannot say that's not transferable to the NFL, because all these games in the NFL, what, 7 points or less, like 60 to 70% of all games are like 7 points or less, you know? So you're going to be in that high kind of, you know, high pressure environment to where you have to perform at a very, very high extreme level. And if you're not able to do it, you're going to be exposed. And that's what happened to these kids, because they're used to being blowing out teams in college, right? Being up by 30. You want to start naming
them too? Your Carson Wentz's of the world?
Blowing folks out.
Should we go through the list? The Mitch Trubinsky's of the world?
You never been in a pressure cooker. You haven't played a close game in your whole college career.
No, I think Carson Wentz is what we always talk about. He's one of our go-tos because Carson Wentz got in the league and started seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
He just started seeing ghosts.
Pressure, man.
And it never went away. That pressure, it never went away. Because, like you said, because you're being praised in college, you're saying you're the best and everything. We know what that does to these guys. And they get into the league, and it has pretty much happened to everybody, to every quarterback. It's pretty much happened to everybody.
They try to compare, and then they try to compare you. Oh yeah, you better than this guy. And it's not now you got to live up to it, and you're not really quite sure about being that kind of guy. Like you
tried to put your boy up against Peyton Manning, and he quit football.
Yeah.
What's my man name for the Colts?
Ryan Leaf. Oh, Ryan. We're talking about Ryan Leaf though. And Peyton Manning, right?
You remember they shaded Peyton. He had to go out the back door.
They
brought in Andrew because Andrew's going to be the savior. You know, we're going to dump this guy that we've had for 20 years to the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest of all time. Yeah. We're going to push him out the back door. We're going to bring in this kid because he's the next Peyton Manning. Do you remember that? I remember like it was yesterday.
Andrew Luck would still be in the league if Peyton Manning was able to
quit, bro.
If Peyton Manning was able to tutor him, he would still be in the league. You got to learn how to play, man. You got to learn how to play this game, bro.
Bill Belichick would not even. They didn't hire the man. The man had to go to Belichick had to go to college. That's humble pie in the NFL, bro. Tom Brady gets cut off a team with 6 rings and goes to win another ring because that's how dirty the league is. So I do get we do know what it is, of course. A lot of egos, etc. So it's not in a lot of ways. It's not on some level unusual. In some ways, it just shows you maybe how great he is in certain ways. So like you said, when the so-called personnel people who leaked out saying that, you know, he made us feel bad, basically. I'm gonna play that video if I find it. I got it up, but that he made them feel a certain way. And I'm like, what does that mean? You have a confident quarterback that can take over your team, bring in more fans, sell more jerseys, highly respectable. What's be funny is that if Shedeur was a spoiled kid, And we can see those. You'll be able to see those tendencies because I watch him all. I've been watching him for years, so I'm seeing his just natural self being out, right? And they're doing streams and stuff. I would see it by now. And with all the fame that his father had and all the success, and you think about Jordan kids, right? Just as a slight comparison, right? To be in my opinion, because the Nepo stuff is nonsense. Because to me, when your father is the greatest of all time, maybe the Nepo stuff that's not real in my opinion. It doesn't. I don't think it applies. Really, he should be depressed. He should be struggling to live up. He should be having issues, to be honest with you. It should be a problem because a lot of the kids who end up having those great parents, they struggle with themselves. They struggle in life. We have just an endless amount of examples of it. They never can live up to the hype of their father. And I don't put Deion on Jordan level. I mean, Jordan is stratosphere. I mean, that's just out of here, right? That's Andromeda Galaxy. I mean, he's out of here, right? Big Bang at the beginning of time level of greatness. But Deion is right there behind him. He's not far. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not far away. And so to have a son come through that, it doesn't get no better than if I'm an owner of a team. I know that this kid can deal with anything because it's rare to have someone's child, and even Shannon will talk about all the time is that it's such a challenge to try to how are you able to coach from a Deion perspective? How is he able to coach to be so great? But then how is he able to have children that are so locked in and so focused? That alone to me is enough to draft him and put him in charge of a football team. Just how he had to deal with his own father and his father's fame at that level. And then your father coaches and takes you from this is what he took him through to get him to where he's at now. And the kid never shook, never shuddered, never had to never took time off, never had to, you know what I'm saying, right? A lot of these kids go through things, never took a break. Always just been locked in, know who he knows who he is. Remember, he doesn't act like his father. So he's not trying to copy his father. He's not trying to be like his father in that way. You know what I'm saying? I have watched him, bro. Him and Shiloh, they're doing their own path. Like they're doing their own thing. It's such an amazing thing that they've done.
They're trying their hardest. They're trying their hardest to do their own thing. Literally, like we're gonna form our own path. We're not gonna try to piggyback off our father. We're going to be who we are, our authentic selves. And Deion has accepted that. Deion just allowed them to be them and be around him, and that's what it is. But it's just what has happened, bro. Look, man. I mean, this is like I told you, man. They're gonna have to explain this. They're gonna have to explain. They're gonna have to really, really explain what was the thought pattern of somebody being not the consent, not the not no up and down guy, like all throughout this process, even with all of the stuff that happened during the draft process, the number 2 solidified, maybe no further than 3rd quarterback chosen. Like that is on the boundaries of being, kind of crazy. The stuff that has happened now, where we're about to go into the 5th round and he still hasn't been picked.
We're in the 5th round. They're at 115 pick. We're about 6 or 7 in so far. Arizona's picking now. New Orleans passed them up again. The Jets as well.
That's insane.
And Arizona's picking now. They just picked a linebacker.
Well, New Orleans already picked up there. They already chose a quarterback. They chose the guy that they wanted to pick.
Oh, New Orleans did already? I missed that. Okay. I didn't know they picked a quarterback. I missed that.
I think they picked
Oh, you're right.
They picked the kid.
Right. Did they pick a kid? Let me look at my list.
Because I just went through it. Hold on, let me see. New Orleans picked up. Yeah, they the ones that picked up Tyler Shue. They're the ones that picked up the Tyler kid, the third guy from Louisville.
Yeah, I see. You're right. I forgot. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, Shook.
Yep. So they got him, and then I think the Raiders picked up.
The Raiders get somebody too.
The Raiders got Jalen Milnew. Because I think that that's where.
No, Seahawks.
The Seahawks got him, or was it the Raiders? Okay, the Seahawks got him. Okay. Well, I don't know who the Raiders got.
Raiders
then.
don't have a quarterback yet.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, they was waiting on the Raiders. That's why I was waiting for the first. That's why I was waiting for the first pick in the 4th round for the Raiders. I figured they may grab.
I mean, you got the Rams because Matthew Stafford is getting older. They need a quarterback. I mean, look, man, you cannot tell me.
Because how long did what's his face sit behind Green Bay? How long did he sit behind
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre at least
4 years or 3 years? 3 years, right?
3 years, yeah.
And how long did what's his face sit behind Aaron? 3 years or 2 years? The new boy.
Jordan Love, 2
Jordan Love.
years. 2 years. Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Then his 3rd year, he became the starter. They let Aaron go.
If he hasn't been with them, see Houston is up next. I'm trying to see who's left. Who needs a quarterback still? They're gonna do 4, 5, and 4, 5, 6, and 7 today.
It's just no excuse, man. I'm just looking at the Raiders. You know, the Raiders still haven't picked a quarterback.
I didn't realize CJ Stroud got sacked that many times. Jesus, last year. That's crazy. He did get sacked a lot, but I didn't think it was that many times. Dang.
And the Raiders literally had 3 third round choices and did not pick a quarterback. Wow. That should tell you everything. They need a whole lot. They need a whole lot of help, but still, bro, like you still don't take a chance on picking up Sanders just off a flyer. Like we already in the 3rd. This is like yesterday. I'm saying like yesterday was that was wild what they did yesterday doing that. That's crazy, bro.
It is. I will say this. It is a good lesson though for Colorado Buff players and just for players in general. Though these things are always good lessons though. So you get to kind of see, how the sausage is made. Where you can be picked on, you can be targeted, even if you do everything right. They will still find something, whatever scenario you want to play, because Deion's not going to be not Deion. Deion's not going to not be Deion. Deion's not going to downplay himself. So let's not even, you got people posting things like, he needs to do this. He shouldn't. You can't tell a person that's been in some way for 60 years not to be. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to tell his kids not to be his. It's just not going to. So that's a non-starter. So they have to live and die with what and who they are, which is fine. And like you said, for him, it'll make him stronger. There's no doubt. He doesn't need this because I think he's already built for it. But obviously, this will just add more. I think it'll add more fuel to him, and I think like you said, thank God. I think it's a blessing, in a lot of ways, just because like me and you both know, it ain't the best for quarterbacks in the first few picks, bro. I don't care what you say. I know it's great for your resume historically, to say you was a whatever pick, but me and you both know, man, it's not good, bro. What's our boy in Chicago? How he look right now? What's up, man? and who did they trade for him?
Struggling, man.
No, but who did they have before that though?
You had
and they pushed him to Carolina, right?
You had Justin Fields there at Chicago. Yeah.
Right. And he washed. And he top 10, right?
He's washed. Well, he's top not 10. Washed. He's in the developmental. He's still. That's what I'm saying.
DC, we know. Let's not do that. Me and you know, man. Me and you know what it is.
He's still developing. He could change it. He could change it. But like I said, that's when you play at a.
I got my Dak Prescott lens on today, bro. So I don't see it. I don't see it, bro.
Well, nobody gonna meet that. Nobody's gonna beat that. I let it go because once I figured out that they were just lying on Dak Prescott, and when he got paid $60 million, people said it was going to pay him that money. That just told me everything I needed to know. There's nothing else to know after that. Like they just lied to everybody's face about him. So that's already been proven. He's the number 1 paid player. If I'm not mistaken, he still is, right? But he has cleared the bar by $5 million. Like that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen if he's not that dude. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it would have been. So.
And was Tua a top pick?
Tua was the first round.
First round, right?
Tua was 5, number 5 if I'm not mistaken.
Number 5, right? Yeah.
Coming off an injury too. Yeah. Right. In the championship game. Yeah. Tua was top 5 pick. Yeah, not top 5. He was the number 5th overall pick in the draft, the first round. Yeah. Just to be clear.
How has he panned out? I mean, Miami is jumping through hoops. to save that situation.
I mean, very similar in the sense of the things that were special about him was his anticipation, his accuracy. He was short. He didn't have the greatest of arm. Had a good enough arm.
But we know that
but it
certain
wasn't.
things don't translate into the league.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Whole point. Yeah.
But see, and he played with the talent that he played with. Man, at Alabama, come on now. You know, hell, Jalen Hurts, man, went to another school. They said he couldn't throw through. he couldn't hit the uprights on the on the field, bro. And the Philly took him in the second round. They saw enough of him. And I'm saying, like, it's still the same thing. Like, the evaluation process is the evaluation process. What you did see on the field that made him special was his inability to keep cool during tough situations.
That's why
he came in,
bro.
he played, he played the position from the head down,
he not don't
from
run
the
high.
legs up. Yeah, he doesn't get nervous in bad adverse situations. That means a whole. You don't know how much that part right there is.
By the way, that is Shedeur. That's my whole point.
But that's my point too.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. So yeah, when you look at from the quarterback position, yeah, that's special. That's the traits that you look for. Being able to process in the pocket, stand in and make. How many tough throws he made where he was getting hit? Like, I mean, literally looking in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That is a pro play. Like, there's so many professional plays that he made throughout the year that is not even funny. They had
to cool Josh Allen down. They had to cool his big old arm. They had to cool that down to get him to sort of stabilize, get focused, and be more logical. And as he's going through, because he was making some of the dumb bro, it's too many dumb decisions. I don't even know where to start. And at least this year, last season, you could see that he's kind of listening.
Yeah,
he still wants to go crazy, but someone got to him and said, "We're gonna scale that back a little bit," and we saw a much better outcome.
So the Rams passed on him again, man. Yeah,
I know.
They may not draft him, man. I just cannot see him.
I'm starting to get that feeling that he's going to be undrafted. I'm starting to get that feeling. I'm not there yet.
I'm still
being positive.
That doesn't happen though, Paradox. You know that doesn't happen, bro. Like, dude, I'm gonna give for context. I want people to understand now. This is a down year for quarterbacks. He could have came out last year, and there were way better quarterbacks that came out last year. I guarantee you that Shedeur would have at least win in the second round, and that was as of last year. They would not done this to him, man. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I can't prove it. I don't have the ability to prove it. But in my opinion, man, there's no way if he came out last year, if he stepped out and just said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and leave Colorado and I'm gonna declare myself for the draft. Even with all the quarterbacks that was taken, man, he could have been like a late first rounder or been in the second round. But everybody would have had him basically, what you call that? They wouldn't have talked about him in such glowing terms because the quarterback draft was weak last year. It was pretty strong. I think they took about 6 quarterbacks last year. It was a lot of QBs that got taken last year early. So, late first round, early second round. But this year, the fact that he could have been like the number 1 pick because him and Cam Ward was so close, it's no way that you look at the gap between him and Cam Ward and everybody else is significant. It's significant, Paradox. It is not even. It's not in the same ballpark. The next guy that's in their league. This is a travesty, bro. This is a travesty. If we just talking sports, man, forget everything else. Forget all the outside stuff, man. You telling me that Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, 20 Giants went back up to get him, bro.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. They went back into the first round to get Jackson Dart. Clearly a project player, like a Daniel Dimes type, athletic, wasn't that accurate in college. Made some big plays. So you basically got him 2.0. Daniel Dimes 2.0. You just had that guy. You just had him. where he never met the moment. He never met the moment in college either. This is Jackson Dart. Nothing against him. He has potential, but you're really working off really potential. You're not working off what you're seeing on the field. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is craziness. This is craziness. Okay, cool. Let that slide. Okay, cool. Now we go to Tyler Shoe. Come on, man.
Shook.
That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
So Tyler Shook for New Orleans. This is the guy?
40th pick, second round.
This is the guy that you choose over Sanders? I would accept Jalen Milroe over that, because Jalen Milroe at least has some championship pedigree. He played in high pressure situations. He made plays in college football. I don't think Jalen is as bad as people say he is. He reminds me of a Jalen Hurts type of guy. Okay, I could see that. But then you go Dylan Gabriel?
Is Jalen the fast one now? One of them is like a 4.
Yeah, Jalen Milroe has elite athletic traits.
Yeah.
You know,
he got a little wiggle too, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying he has elite physical traits for the position. Okay, cool. I could see that. But Jalen Milroe before Dart for me. That's the argument. But when you go this far, to make a point with Shedeur, when Shedeur and Cam Ward were kind of like 1A, 1B at the most, it was like, okay, you got Cam Ward clearly has separated himself as the best, right? But then right after that, you have to go Shedeur Sanders, because he's the next one that you can basically project and hand the keys to somebody. You can hand the keys to him next year, and you can be perfectly fine if you have a line and you have a workable line, O-line, right? And a good decent back and a good coaching scheme. You can work him as being your starting quarterback for the next year. None of these other guys basically should start. It would be a travesty if they start, because those teams will fall apart. They're going to be the worst teams in football. You know. But you can get Sanders in a good environment, a good position where he can kind of make plays and be able to work it and be kind of like a game manager, because that's what he did at the college level, at a high level. If you protect him, he's going to make the right decisions with the football. That's been shown over and over and over again. Same thing with Cam.
You know what's so funny? Deion didn't hide Shedeur. He didn't hide him. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? He put enormous pressure on his shoulders.
He did, man.
I watched every game, bro. Watch him in the off seasons. I mean, like I just, like I said, it's shocking. I'm glad your boy reached out to him though. Dak talked to him.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they say a lot of players are reaching out to him. No, that's a good. I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of ex-players are reaching out to him too.
Yeah, man.
I would get rid of Baker. I mean, like how I'm looking at Tampa Bay, like, yo, Baker can go. And like I told you, I would love him to go to Detroit, because old boy can go too. Your favorite player, Dak's nemesis.
Who's that?
But for Detroit,
Jared Goff. But I'm saying, but why not have him? But why not pick him up as a backup to him?
Right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
all these other teams. Okay, if you don't look at him as being your franchise guy, why not look at him
Goff
as being
turned into a pumpkin, bro.
A high quality backup. Like, that's crazy, bro. This is crazy work, man. You can't tell me that this is not personal. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just going over the football stuff, and he hasn't proven himself to be uncoachable. He hasn't done things on the field to where it would seem to be, outside of, flexing his watch and doing all that bravado stuff like before and after games. He hasn't seemed to be a person that really try to flex on teams and embarrass teams by what he did to celebrate. But I'm saying he wasn't like Johnny Manziel or like Baker Mayfield. They did the most. You know what I'm saying? They did the most, dog.
They ran hot. The difference with what people don't understand with Shedeur is that he has a limiter on him.
Yeah.
So if you follow him outside of football, I don't want to call him humble because he's rich. He's a rich kid. I'm not going to call him humble, but he's measured.
He's
when I see him talk to his brothers, his sister, when he talks to his dad, when he talks to people within the organization, he's measured with it. That means that he's self-aware. He's aware of who he is. He's aware of himself, and he sort of knows how to meter himself. When you look at Baker and they were unhinged. To be honest with you,
crazy.
Yeah, they thought they were the greatest thing ever, and you can put that on Shador if you want to because of how Dion is. But if you actually follow Shador, watch how he talks to people outside of, just out in general, just out in the public, when you watch him, how his body language is, what I'm saying, very approachable, very fresh. Just such a strange thing, bro, because there's so much content on him. We would have seen something. I know I would have seen something by now. That was like, oh, okay, oh yeah, he is. My only issue I had with him, it was not in his control. It's him holding the ball too long. That was my only issue I always had, the entire time. But I understand what he was dealing with, obviously. But
he's the number 2 position guy at the most important position in football, in sports. He's
cold.
the number 2 guy.
It's a cold world.
All draft
like
boards.
That's
why Mel Kiper is like
he's off. Yeah, Mel is just is.
I have studied this game for even when I know people that slide. Aaron Rodgers, that's a slide. That's in the first round. The motherfucker still went in the first. Lamar Jackson, that is a slide. Lamar Jackson 32. Still went in the first though. He was the last pick, and that was a travesty. Everybody knows.
Oh, that was a disaster, bro.
It was a travesty. This right here, though, is worse, bro.
This is worse.
The
worst ever. Yeah, it's the worst ever. Period. It's no. I can't think of anybody.
Nobody that's ranked number 2 on anybody's list.
All right, the Steelers is up next.
Nobody's ranked number 2 in any position that's in any position on the field. Hasn't been drafted yet outside of kickers and special team guys.
Yeah, it's cold.
Not one position.
Whole world.
Not the second running back, not the second receiver, not the second guard, not the second tackle, not the second center. None of these guys. All these guys have been picked by now. You're not going to get a number 2 nothing in the draft. And this is at the most important position. I want people to understand that. No other important position.
Which at this point you argue works against him, right? But at this point it starts to work against you.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Now you want to pick a backup who's really a starter, who also brings a lot of energy.
Exactly. And even when you try to humble him, so now you try to humble him, but now you have made it all about him. You see how this works in reverse. You see how when you try to teach a lesson, it ends up being that's the insanity about what the word that we don't want to use. That to me, that's the insanity of it, because even when you're trying to prove a point, you end up hurting yourself at the end of the day. So think about all these teams that end up hurting themselves by doing this. Because now it's all upside for him, because if he becomes a starter, he won. Yep. Because guess what? These guys that you got here, all these guys
make him pay $300 million.
But
I'm saying, make him pay $300 at least.
Take them to the bank, dog. That's why I don't look down on that. Everything that's not. I don't look down on it.
That guy his. He got it.
Go to the cleaners on him, bro. I would not. No, I mean, just whatever you want. Do not relent. And his dad gonna tell him that. Whatever, son, if you go in there, you make Pro Bowl, all this type of stuff, and you become offensive rookie, say he gets somewhere and somebody gets hurt and he ends up ascending and becoming that dude. You know what this draft process is gonna have to be investigated, bro. It's gonna have to. He's going to be a starter in the league. So not even just talk like that. He's going to start for somebody.
Oh, for sure.
Whether they draft him, whether they draft him or not, he's going to end up starting for the league. I just think he has that ability, just point blank. He at worst, he's a decent starter in the league, which means that he's upwards of 20 on up at worst.
And by the way, they about to get a deal too. You know that, right? And they get
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He's gonna be playing for free, basically. At this point,
that's what I'm saying.
Playing for free.
So So
it's gross, man.
if he goes somewhere like a Detroit where they got a great line, this and that other, now you don't have to pay Jared Goff. You could transition him with a great offensive line, great coach,
That's
everything, this and that other, and he could be your starter after 2 to 3 years, and he gets to sit and learn and digest. Come on, man, are you serious?
Yeah. It's gonna work out, but it's gonna be 4 years though before he gets that check, that real money. I hate to say it. They're gonna.
No, but see, the thing is, man, now, what has happened? No team wants to deal with the fiasco now. Now it got so past that people are trying to wait on the team to draft him. They are waiting on the team to draft him.
Can he go back to college?
No, he's done.
It's too late, right?
His eligibility is done. Yeah, he's been in college he's 23 years old.
Shoot, what's his face? 26. Who just got drafted quarterback, whatever position he played. I forget what position it was. Like 25. How are you 26?
The Tyler kid got hurt. So he had like 3 major injuries where he had like exemptions for the year.
Dang.
So he can come
back.
30. He damn near 30. And everybody knows that most likely he's going to be a high quality backup. If that, he may start, but I'm just saying it doesn't. He could break the mold, but it doesn't bode high for him to be your franchise guy when he's already almost damn near 30.
And what's so crazy though? Like you said, I know it's somewhat of a conspiracy because say if you're the Raiders, right? You're in Vegas, right? You're still trying to build up, trying to get that going and everything, get that rolling. And Deion is close to those folks. It's just shocking that I want Deion to come visit. I want your son there. I want the social media. We're living in a new world right now. This is the world that we live in, Twitch streaming and stuff like that. So we want all of it and everything that you bring with it, and we want you to be what you are. It's just that it's like, almost like it's something that we're missing, something that we don't know about. I feel like that we're clearly missing somewhere. Because I mean, even what your boy did in Kansas City for he was in Philly for Michael Vick, stuff like that. So I know that they do redemptions. They go out of their way to do a lot of things for people who I can argue don't necessarily deserve it.
There's no excuse, bro. What they have done. What they have done here.
I'm just expressing my frustrations online. I've been mad for 2 days, so I'm just getting out of my system. I already know what it is.
He's going to slide. He's going to slide. It's most likely, if they're going to do it, it's going to be most likely in the 5th, because by the time 6th or 7th round comes, those are normally like special teams.
It's humble pie like a mother though. It's humbling me. I'm all humble. We all humble. All the whole Deion fan club. They humbling us right now. NFL says we in charge. We got the hammer, as Marcellus Watson said. We got the hammer. You don't got the hammer. Like So I love it. It builds character, as they say, right? So
I like to see our real arguments kind of play out in real time. That's what I love about this type of deal. So it's like I don't have to say anything. Just let this play out, because all the narrative is going to run by itself. I don't have to say anything. The narrative is going to run by itself. It's going to automatically do it.
But DC, you know what I hate about it, right? It's that vortex situation, right? I hate it because it pulls you more to the NFL. It makes you more of a fan of the league, right? It sucks you in more because of how you don't have nowhere else to go, right? We don't have an alternative league like that, so you can't be a child and like I'm just going somewhere else and play. Like it makes it so, and they know that the owners, they all know that. I know Roger Goodell and got about 500 calls.
I know Roger. Roger has called every. I bet best believe
what the hell is going on? I know that's happening. I know he's under pressure.
Roger has called every team and be like, fellas. Oh,
come on,
forget calling every team. Conference call. Conference call.
One call
last night.
Yeah,
look,
it happened. It happened last night.
I don't care. One of you guys going to have to get out of y'all ass, and you're going to have to select. We cannot have this where we ice him out the draft.
We can't do it.
You cannot do it.
It's gonna be.
I know what the other teams, because think about this, guys. The backup quarterbacks are normally picked up in the 3rd and the 4th round. That's normally when you go get them.
It's cold, bro. I know.
In the 3rd and the 4th round is normally, 5th round, those guys are like practice arms. Maybe we can get lucky and we can find a Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins. Those guys, you get lucky. Yeah. That is not something that
we're not gonna do that. Kirk was luck. Dak wasn't loved. They played Dak out, and he fell to. Don't do
That's
that.
true.
Don't do that now.
Yeah, that's
Don't
true.
do that
Yeah,
now.
you're right. He was the senior
Let's not do that. No,
Senior
he
Bowl
was getting hate.
MVP. He was the
Talking
man.
about
He
he's
was the
some
man.
freaking
in
Tim
the
Tebow.
state.
Tim
That's true.
Tebow. What? What tapes are y'all watching?
And
Dak Prescott and Tim Tebow.
Couldn't help.
Where's Tim Tebow at right now?
Man, bro, come on, man.
What are we doing?
Forget that.
He's Tim Tebow.
How many
I'm still mad about that. You know, I'm
still
mad about that tape.
I think it was
I'm
like
still
10.
mad about that from Colin Cowherd.
I think it was like 10. I think it was like 10
Tebow.
quarterbacks. I think it was like 10 or it was 8 or 9, 10 quarterbacks, man. One of those numbers that was picked over. That was picked over Dak.
Tim
bro.
Tebow.
That was picked over Dak. Crazy.
I'm an 85-year-old man still talking about some Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow?
Oh,
that's your analysis?
Tim Tebow, if I'm not mistaken, was taken in the first round, bro. He was taken in the first round.
Yes.
He was a first rounder. Hey, man, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like, this is insane. As I'm watching the draft, I'm like, what in the world is going on, bro?
The 125th pick.
That was nice.
And I tried to get you to go live last night, but I'm glad we saved it for the day because it's perfect. Actually, it was a perfect day. Actually, ended up being a perfect time instead of doing it Thursday.
One thing I do notice about this draft, they are picking a lot of defensive guys. There's a lot of defensive,
way more than ever, right?
Edge guys, guys that normally.
I think it's the most. A lot of edge guys. I think it's the most. I think it's the most in a long time, if not 20 years or something like that. It's the most.
Yeah, they've been
normally heavy offense.
Yeah, heavy offense, but normally, this is.
And you make a really good point too. Is it's not like this is the strongest quarterback class. Like, oh, we understand. Look who's in the class. Yeah. And it's like, okay, we can understand it to some degree. And also, if a lot of teams had great quarterbacks,
you tell me last year if he comes out, dude, he would be getting this kind of thing. No. There's no way he would not last. He would not last past the second round. And that was I'm saying, come on, man.
I will do this though. Now, when Deion did have that interview, and I'm gonna give him a little bit of heat though. When he had the interview, he said where his son wasn't going. That
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
If you can't
think about it. What can they do to hurt Deion? He's the highest paid college.
What they doing right now?
Exactly.
What they're doing right now.
Exactly.
Yep, it's happening right now.
The
college couldn't do it. The colleges couldn't stop it. They tried it. And they couldn't do it.
You played it at the beginning. When he goes there and just talk and just excoriate these people that he hates it, he know that they hate him. Think about that. Like, he's in front of people that he openly knows.
Yeah, he's a hired assassin, basically.
Are antagonistic towards him, and they don't like him, and he has to sit there and placate to that.
He doesn't remember, DC. He doesn't fit. They have a narrative on certain groups of people and certain players, and because he doesn't fit the narrative. What they don't want to happen, and you can't stop it, of course. What they don't want to happen is, and that's why they hit LeVar Ball so bad, which I'm still angry about. He's not perfect, and he's uninformed, and he has to learn, and that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah,
but
he thought he could terraform the way the league was and stuff like that.
He was out of his mind, bro.
Yeah, that
Deion does not approach it that way. He's the complete 180 of that. he knows what it is.
Totally on board. He's totally on board with the foundation of what the NFL is and how sports.
He is not confused. That's why he says what he says all the time. He tells his kids that all the time.
But within the rules of engagement, he wants to do it his way. Now that is something that is true. Within the rules of engagement, he wants to do it his way. And what's wrong with that? Why can I not hire Warren Sapp? I think he's a great defensive line coach, which is what has been proven to be. He loves coaching.
He's amazing, bro.
He's there early. He's there early with the kids. He's gonna wake up. He's there waking everybody up in the morning.
Warren Sapp went to go buy he went to go buy a damn Winnebago. So he could just stay by the stadium, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He was trying to find a Winnebago so he could just be in.
That's what I'm
not leaving. He's like, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna be right here.
Loves it. Has the love for the game. This is probably what he should have been doing. What he's opening up is an avenue of what should have been happening a lot before the time.
It's gonna help a lot of players with the pressure coming out of the league, man.
Because I always wonder why the NFL is not a lot like the NBA. Because all the NBA is most likely is former players coaching.
Yeah.
Like, really, is what that is.
Because it gives them something. It's like military guys. It gives them something to do when you've been entrenched so long in a certain thing, and you get depressed basically when you come out of it. No matter how much money you get, doesn't mean anything. The money don't fix depression. You got to have something to do that's not bullshit. It has to make you feel what that gives you that feeling. You could tell when Warren Sapp first went there, bro. I remember like it was yesterday. The way he lit up, his whole aura was different once he went there. And then when Deion gave an opportunity, it just went on the stratosphere. Like he just out of here of appreciation and graciousness, man. It's unreal.
They're not gonna do it, man.
No, the Chargers. He got another edge guy.
Another edge guy. Yeah, that edges, man. Edge, D-line, corners.
Yeah.
I mean, bruh. We're not dealing with guys that are like 8, 9 on the board in those position players. And those are important positions, don't get me wrong, but they're not more important than the quarterback, dog. And the number 2 quarterback that's still on the board at any time outside of the second round is insanity. That has not happened in the draft, people. That has not happened. I don't care how weak the draft has been. The number 2 quarterback normally is going to get picked up even on a slow quarterback draft year, at least in the second round. At least, bruh. At least. It don't fall to the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. It don't happen. It does not happen. And especially when you have led in categories of completion percentage, completing the most balls under pressure, and when you're in a clean pocket, you're the best. So that means when you do get protection and you do get a clean pocket and you do get blocking, you're operating at a high efficiency level. He's the most efficient quarterback in college football. Travesty, bro. I don't care. I don't care. It's just you can't make this about what it isn't about. That's what I mean. They have trapped themselves and now they have fallen into that trap. You can't make this what it's not actually about. I think he's going. I just can't see no way. Some team has to be. They just got to get out of their own way and do it. And there's so many teams that are like they're on the cusp of needing another quarterback. Like even if you look at places like Indianapolis where they got the young Anthony Richardson, you don't know if Anthony Richardson's going to pan out. So you draft. You can still compete. You can make competition for these young guys. Okay, we're going to bring another young fella in here. He's been drafted in the 3rd, 4th round. He's going to compete for you. So you better get your shit straight. This doesn't automatically just fall to you because you're our number 1 pick. You could. There's so many teams. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, are we serious here? Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing, dog? Like, this is madness, bro. I can't. The more I think about it, the harder my head it's like, what is going on here?
I know you almost want to just unplug from it and let things happen and just deal. You know what I mean? You don't even really want to engage it. So it's so crazy.
Well, now you done sucked me in. Now I'm all in now, baby. I'm all in it now. You done sucked me into it. I'm in the vortex now, baby.
It's like my own child at this point, not sleeping or nothing the last 2 days, bro. I don't even know why. I know why, because I've been watching them so long, for so many hours, for so many years. Is that I'm basically invested. I love Travis Hunt. I'm going to become a Jacksonville. I'm not a Jacksonville fan, but I'm definitely going to be following them.
Because think about this, though, right?
Follow him.
Because think about this, right? Because I still think the teams look at him as a starter. So they don't even look at him as a backup, right? So they know they're going to end up. They're going to have to end up. That's what I'm saying. So you got to end up playing. You got to end up basically. He's going to start sometime in the near future. So if we already got a quarterback, we're looking to fill other positions for that quarterback and not for Sedura because he's not our quarterback of the future. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the problem. So you got the Commanders picking up a receiver, these other guys picking up edges and stuff like that. Look at Doug Williams still up in the fold, boy. I tell you, man. Washington came full circle. Should have never benched that man, by the way. Should have never benched that man, by the way. Should have never benched that man, by the way. But I'm gonna chill off that. I ain't gonna speak about old history, but that's
I know, bro.
Everybody want to check the tape. You check the tape, bro. If Mark Griffin won like 2 those Super Bowls at the end, Doug Williams would have won at least 3 or 4 of them at the end. I'm gonna stand on that, bro. I don't care, bro. Mark Griffin should have been a backup. Period.
We're talking about 88, 87, 88, 89. What was it?
Bro. He was good, but he wasn't no Doug Williams, bro. Like, come on, dog, get out of here, man. he had a couple of bad games. I get it, but nah. It was a different time, though. Different time. I want them to explain it because they're trying to explain it and make it about football, but this is not about football. This is not about the game.
Yeah, we're past football now. We're past
Yeah,
that.
this is about something else. Something has driven this, man. And like I said, once he got past, that's what I'm saying. Once he got past the where you draft starters at quarterback position, really you draft starters at quarterback position no later than the second round. Everything after that is kind of like high project. He's a high athletic ability, got a chance to start, maybe not start, but
Right.
high quality backup. This not other than the third, and then in the fourth round, those are strictly your backup quarterbacks. Strictly your backup quarterbacks. You telling me that people look at him as the backup quarterback of the team, not a potential starter? Get out of here, bro. Let's just stop it. Stop it. even if you don't know how he will be in the NFL system, you still take that chance based off what you have seen on his body of work. From high school to college, based off his body of work, you would still take that chance to see what it will look like when the ball is in his hands, operating the team from the first team reps in preseason. So he just has to suffer through it, man. 5th, 6th round. That's what it's looking like. It doesn't look like he's gonna go in the 4th.
We're getting to the end of the 4th.
Yeah, they're still in the 4th round.
An end now.
So yeah, it's coming to an end. So it looks like it's gonna be the 5th round if they're gonna try to, they're gonna make that decision on him. Sad, bro. Now, putting this in context. Now, think about it. Now, let me go to last year's draft. Let me pull that up because I think it's very important to kind of give an idea of the quarterbacks chosen in the last couple of drafts. Let me see. Let's see. Because last year's draft class was pretty robust of a lot of quarterbacks to people. Because you had Bo Nix, you had who else? Who was at the top of the draft last year? Rookie. Was Jalen Daniels a rookie last year? Yeah, Jalen Daniels was a rookie last year. So Jalen Daniels was a rookie. You had a lot. Jalen Daniels did what he did, of course. Let's see. Let's see. 2000. Normally, Pro Football Weekly have all that. We have. Yeah, man. So to be honest with you, you have to be able to get, if you could look at the quarterbacks that have been taken in the top, I said top 20 picks of the last 4 or 5 drafts is what I want. Down.
And did you want to do? Do you want to start reacting to videos that are reacting to the reaction?
Yeah. Put on Mel Kiper.
Who you want to go? Do you want to do Jason Whitlock being right? Do you want to do Mel Kiper? Do you want to do Colin? Do you want to do some random folks? CBS News and all that.
Let's
start with Mel Kiper first. Shannon Sharp and Ocho.
No, let's start with Jason Whitlock. Let's get his take on it.
I haven't heard the Whitlock. I just listened to Marcellus, and Marcellus had mentioned that I guess Jason was right. Let me see.
But Jason is going from the cultural perspective. But let's listen to him real quick and see what he got to say.
Well, I'll skip through. I don't really want to hear him. I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna jump to him. But,
you gotta listen to the man now. You got hold on now.
Some folks need to take it behind the shed and shot, but that's just me.
Let's hear. I mean, do they got like a small snippet of it, or is he like long form?
He has a thing. It's his hour and 32 minutes. Shador Sanders slides. Shannon Sharp steps down. So let's do that one. That was April the. When is it? What's the date on it? What's the date? The 26th.
Yeah.
So it was yesterday. Let's play a little bit of it. Let me see. I know somebody's gonna end up trying to flag us at some point. I'm sure. So I don't want to play too much of these folks.
No, not too much. We'll stop it and.
He's such a goofball, man. Yeah, Yeah, Marcellus did a. He was funny, balanced to some degree. I want to play him too at some point, but let's see.
Happy Friday to you and yours. Woo! I want to translate that for you.
I wish you had it broken up.
Is on that biblical Christianity mess, and I don't mess with that. I'm secular. I'm perverted. I'm committed to a culture that victimizes and makes kids vote. And then I was trying to tell you, and I'm sorry, and I know this hurts.
This is his victory lap, by the way.
Sanders, fraudulent.
Mm.
And his sons slide down the NFL.
I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm good.
Where's all that? I'm saying, where's all that fire pertaining to all this other stuff that you were responding to? Where's all that fire towards Nick? You rather go at another black man for doing what you saying, basically doing everything that you saying, holding up the coat. But he looks at it as belligerent. You see how it works in reverse? He's
insane.
Just,
he's getting paid.
But
he's a fraud, bro.
But here's the important part, though. Here's the important part. Everything that you're talking about culturally, as far as being important, that's what Deion is. No drinking, tries not to curse, all the being on time, timely, being a good steward of the game.
To impress, being clean cut, playing the game, saying the right thing. Yes, sir.
You just don't like the way he do it. Like, because he does it in a way that's different than what you're talking about, and shows
there is no way. It's only who you can only be who you are. There is no nothing.
I'm saying in his mind it is though, Paradox. That's what I'm trying to say. And he thinks that is
not honest, bro. He's a fraud, man.
But I'm saying, Paradox. The problem with him is that he thinks that the white way, is the right way of doing it. It's through their cultural lens instead of through what Deion has basically kind of cultivated in his lens, as far as we're going to do this, but we're going to do this our way. So we're going to play our music. We're going to do this and that other, but we're going to still be on time. We're going to still be disciplined. We're going to still not have penalties. We're going to still do everything we need to do within the lines of the guidelines of what the rules are in football and football culture. And we're going to uphold it, and we're going to be the best at it. That is. I just don't understand.
I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you in a race thing. I want to do it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm saying through the cultural lens. I'm not even bringing it up race as either or thing. You know? No, I got you. Now hold it there. So I'm watching the draft, right? Everybody, every front office is suited and booted. Everybody in suits and everything. And then we get to Detroit. Everybody got hoodies on. Looking like a gym class on the screen, right?
Yeah.
They don't look like us, except maybe one guy in there, right? And so, it's interesting when I understand what you're saying, but it's kind of like the white way is, what way is that exactly? Because I could give you examples of, if I put the Detroit front office and they all got black hoodies on, looking crazy to me, they're not. It doesn't look professional. Really, when you think about it, if you want to put that lens on it, and it's just a funny. It's just a funny thing.
The Paradox. I agree with you. I'm saying Jason.
Should we do the senator or what's the guy who's the representative in Pennsylvania? You could just
use Pat McAfee. He doesn't go at Pat McAfee like that. He doesn't go at him like that. But that's my point, though. Because he doesn't fit General Caston. He wants to.
No. He has a problem, and he's being paid, and he's doing something to. Remember something. I can understand if he was attacking maybe a drug dealer or something. That's one thing. But if you're attacking Deion, it's something else going on. It's something that's being done nefariously.
That's what I'm saying.
You're being paid. It's not authentic. It's not real. You're not really attacking anything. It's fraud. It's not.
No.
I don't have the word for it.
No, we disagree.
Of course we do. I'm just trying to find some space. I'm trying to make space.
He's attacking. He's attacking, bro. No, there's no anything that basically comes in the form of a black skin. He's highly critical. He doesn't see it that way. And he thinks that he's policing it from the right lens. In his way, he thinks he's trying to bring it back in. Really? He's trying to bring it back in and try to control it. And it's just like, what are you doing? And you're running this narrative, and then you feed those people that that fits into that category, and they can't live up to the discipline standard that Dion and his sons or whatever he's basically coached these kids to do. That's what I'm saying. He can't, because look at his body. He's overweight. He can't discipline himself to even lose weight.
He got fired from his corporate job, and he ran to the YouTube. Come on, man.
Dude,
come on, man. He's not playing the game. He ran away.
I'm trying to make this about the actual game. And see, you see how he basically saying now this is used and to a degree, right? He's speaking for some people, and I don't even think most of these people basically believe.
I don't even know who he's speaking to.
Believe it to the level that he believes it in. But there are a few people that may be that's making some of these decisions that fall into that kind of algorithm of thinking, but maybe not to the extreme that Whitlock is. They just don't want to deal with the problem of what Dion brings.
No, it's not. It's not Dion. It's like something that. Going. It's outside of you being paid. There's also something going on with you. Donald Trump, if he's the standard, then Dion is good. If Elon Musk is the standard, then Dion is good. And I can go down a list of people who are the other persuasions who are doing things. Jerry Jones, for that matter. I mean, we could just keep on finding people. By the way, if I keep thinking about it long enough.
But you do understand how that proves my point on the lens thing, though. That's what I'm saying, bro.
No, I'm gonna let you have it. Though. I don't even want to stress my brain. I don't even want to stress. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna make argument.
We're watching it in real time. I asked you, what is it about then? What is it about then, bro? What is it about that he? Ever since Dion came out, man, they said he basically he flew a helicopter because Jason, he could do it.
Jason, I'm not gonna let you.
Let me say this.
Since you want to do it, let's do it then. No. We're gonna do Jason Whitlock because you're trying to catapult off of that.
I'm not trying to count. I'm talking about.
I don't want to do it, but we can do Jason Whitlock if we need to because it's not gonna be about the white thing and him trying. No, we can. Let's talk about him because that's really the problem.
Forget Jason.
And he's using that language within that space to say things a certain way. But Jason Whitlock has another problem. He has the same problem a lot of white guys who do radio and who do TV have problems with people who are great, regardless of what world it is. Politics, it could be church, you can pick any kind of world, and you have what you call, obviously, it's more than even hating. There is something wrong with you internally. You wasn't good enough, but whatever's going on with you psychologically, that's more of the problem. But he's expressing it using incendiary language that's really predictable, copycat historical languages to fall into a certain space to say, well, because he's acting this way, when we listen to it, it's gonna sound like he's parenting, a Klansman or something, or an anti-black person, or a racist, or whatever, right? So he's using that kind of language, but I see past that though. I've been watching that man for a long time, bro. If you don't think that man has a problem with himself and his life and what he did not accomplish and who he isn't, then you're missing it then, because he has a much, much deeper problem. And because of our country and how capitalism is set up and how race and culture and everything is set up, he found a space to go and hide and run to express that. And so people are thinking that, oh, well, he's saying the things that white people want to say, and he's saying his audience is da-da-da-da. I can say, yeah, that's the cover. But I see past that. So, yeah, he's saying things that appeal to them, the same with the Hodge twin, or pick anybody else who's saying whatever. But I said, nah, Candace Owens and them, that's a different conversation. Whitlock, though, bro, I don't care what you say, man. I've seen him when he was on ESPN, Fox. He has something else wrong with him.
It's jealousy, man. It's jealousy.
But it's past jealousy, though. It's on a much, envy. Yeah. It's on a much more aggressive level. And he found an avenue to express it and cover it.
And get paid for it. And get paid. Now, you got to remember, he's on platforms, Paradox. I want you to remember this now. The psychology point of what you're saying, man, this is not nothing that's not
Mad Dog is an example of it. Mad Dog. A lot of those guys back in the day used to yell and scream and stuff because you're not good enough.
I'm saying, Paradox. He's put on a platform. No matter how you pattern this, he's put on a platform. But when you're around greatness, DC, and you're not great, it can hurt. He's getting paid to do this, though. You know that, right? See, you're missing. See, this what I see.
Well, I know he's getting paid. I know it's orchestrated. I know he's actually getting used as well.
This is why I wish that we could push past this 1960 kind of form of speaking about race because it's way more sophisticated and nuanced than this. I want to go back. I want to go back to 1988, 87, bro, when Deion first came on the scene. We were kids. We were elementary school, right? I remember that draft process, bro. Deion flew like a helicopter that was flown in by white people. White people basically knew how he was Bo Jackson, but he was Flair. Bo Jackson was before him. Now this is the two stark differences where these are the best athletes of their time. Probably ever since then. You haven't seen something since like a Bo Jackson and a Deion Sanders in the 80s. That's unheard of what they did. Unheard of, bro. Uber professional athlete in two rigorous sports, baseball and football, bro. And could play it at high levels. I think one year Deion led the league in baseball in steals and on base percentage. It is unheard of, bro. Unheard of. Unheard of, dude.
Yeah,
that
to this
is
day,
crazy.
still unheard of.
And dude, and playing both ways. Bo Jackson was Canseco before Canseco.
Playing both ways.
He was Mark McGuire, dude. He was a power hitter. You couldn't throw in front of the man. You couldn't throw in front of him. You had to walk Bo Jackson.
Gotta walk him.
You had to walk this man. He was legitimately a guy that could have went to. No, I'm getting to my point though, bro. He was legitimately a guy that could have went Pro Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. He was just that good. He was just that good. This is not hyperbole. He was the best. Bo Jackson was the best.
But I think Whitlock is falling in that.
No. Well, let me do it.
It's that shock jock era, bro. I'm telling you, man. I know what it is, bro.
Then let me do it then. Because see, I'm talking about with Deion, there was energy surrounded by him by white reporters, bro, that did not like the way he was initially because he came. I think he came down.
Muhammad Ali might be the OG, the original.
Of course.
Really?
Great point. But we talk about football in particular, right? Football has always been like about the team kind of sport. You know, like we're about team first, right? Like it's not right. Boxing is individual, tennis individual, golf individual to a degree. So it's hard to kind of encapsulate that greatness because what you do, that's why Jack Johnson was such a problem because hell, you put a guy in front of me, I'm going to whoop ass. Dude, Jack Johnson, I think, had like about four. They had a situation where they gave this man like 4 or 5 fights in the same day, trying to get this man out, and he ran the gamut. You put him in front of me, I'm going to knock his head off. Period. So that's something totally different. So when we're talking about, bruh, the Deions and the Bo Jacksons of the world, where they break the mold so much, where they trying to control, because these are controlled sports. We know this. But if I'm good enough, if I'm talented enough, that I transcend your rules on it, and I still follow your rules to a T. Deion came there, got. You want to warm up, Deion? No, I don't need to warm up. Ran like a 4.2 something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Got in the helicopter, left and went to baseball practice somewhere. That is insane. That is insane. Ever since the man had shades on, dude, he obliterated because you can't hold me in. And what people don't understand, Deion was a great basketball player too. Motherfucker probably could have went to the league and could have been like a backup point. But dude, that's what I'm saying. And see, I go back. See, now that I'm thinking about it, now I go back to how they try to encapsulate somebody like a Charlie Ward, somebody that was better in football than he was basketball. That's how insidious this goes back, bro. Charlie Ward was a great football player at Florida State. He was basically Vic before Vic with the passing game and the processing of all. He could do it all. I remember I was a Florida State fan, bro. Yeah. Because of Deion, I was a Florida State kind of like slash man, but I love Florida State, man. Had the Florida State college t-shirt. Remember those back in the day? I was a fan, bro. College football. I watched all of Charlie Ward's games. Charlie Ward was the blueprint of the dual threat, passing, running. Everything, but see, the thing is, you couldn't hold him in check because he was smart too. He wasn't like just all he do is just runs when he gets the ball. No, Charlie Ward, we was throwing to Peter Warwick and all that. Remember Peter Warwick and all those? He was lighting up the skies, bruh. lighting up. Warwick Dunn was, if I'm not mistaken, was his running back, or maybe he was a little bit before Warwick Dunn. But he had great runners too at was it William Floyd? He had great runners at Florida State. That team was unbelievable on offense. Unbelievable, bruh. Was not strictly a running quarterback. He was a guy that could throw it and run it at the same kind of talent level. What I'm saying, Paradox, is that there's always been some trying to controllables or humbleness that they wanted to try to put onto these people, especially guys that transcend talent where they basically go above the coaching. But see, the thing that they don't talk about is that Deion never been a problem with coaching. He was a student of the game. He was very, very intelligent. See, you don't talk about the stuff. You don't talk about the inside, the numbers part. See, you want to talk about how great of an athlete he was, but it wasn't just that. See, you don't just stop there.
Great leader of the team.
You don't just don't stop there.
Yeah, great
because
in the meeting room, all of it.
knew how to step in front. He knows how to even coach DBs. Even when he was still playing, he knew how to elevate the guys that was basically they were all talented. And he hit. Look, you hit him with the jab here first. You can stop him from actually getting this turn. He studied receivers, studied guys, and he said something the other day. He said, "Man, you got to remember, everybody damn near either had an All Pro or a Hall of Famer on the other side that I have to guard or cover, and that's facts, bro."
Every game.
Andre Reeds, Michael Irvins, Jerry Rice, Chris Carter. I mean, these dudes were monsters. Art Monk. We had here. Art Monk, Ricky Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you had to be locked in. Bro, you had to be locked in. You could not be a slouch at the corner position, bro. And especially during those days, because they wasn't that sophisticated in zone. Running zone mean that you basically had a weak ass defense. If you didn't have a corner that could cover one-on-one with their alpha on the other side, then you had a problem. You had to draft a guy. You had to get an Eric Allen. You had to get a Deion. You had to get a Rod Wilson. You had to get a guy that can cover. You feel me? Like period. Because we're not going to be able to help you because we got to stop this running game. The safeties are helping in run help. Like shit, we got to stop these running backs from running all over us, bruh. And what I'm trying to say to you, bro, when you cover that with the lens of that, bro, they could not stop him from being as great as he was. As great as he was. You couldn't stop that. To me, man, this is like working it because, like you said, when Deion, just the snip that you played earlier, and then Deion saying, well, we may hold out and all that stuff. Looking hindsight, I know he's looking back. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And I don't, like I said, Deion is not perfect. Deion is not a perfect person. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes. He gets a little bit ahead of himself. He projects some of his greatness onto his sons. That may not be something that he should do. Your son plays a whole different position. He plays the quarterback position. They're going to leverage that, though. They're going to leverage that. They're going to say, well, we just can't deal with the overage. We can't, it's too big for our team. See, if he goes somewhere, think about it, he goes somewhere like a Jacksonville, it's all about Deion now. And because thing is, Trevor Lawrence is really like kind of still on the cusp. Like people don't know, like Trevor, but
I'm telling you, bro, he ain't got it, bro.
But I know that, but we know that they may be going looking for another quarterback. But why not draft like a Shedeur Sanders? Why wouldn't you do that? That's what I'm saying. Like it's so many things, man, that I could go into when it comes down to the game and quarterback and how it basically reflects. Like fuck Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock got personal problems, and he's being paid to bolster that and bolster that all over the internet from a weak man's perspective. He's a weak man. The truth is, Jason Whitlock is a weak man. Yeah, with a weak mindset. Yeah, that has a bloated belief in what he think greatness should be and what it should look like, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
He's a big boy, but he's a small man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I agree.
That shock jock era.
I agree, dog.
A lot of radio guys, a lot of guys on TV. When you get around greatness, you respond two types of ways. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys who were never nothing, but you chose to be in an industry of uber talented human beings, greatest humans. These are warriors, really, in other histories of the world, right? Some of the greatest, greatest people. I do know it does have an effect. It happens to a lot of fans too, right? A lot of people want to be them, and it does create some kind of psychosis in a lot of people. Lots of people, bro. especially fans. But I also see it in a lot of pundits. They do. I can see that a lot of things become more personal, and that's why when Jalen Rose, when he read out Skip Bayless's stats in high school, just watch the video. I don't gotta make this up. I'm not making it up. Just watch the video.
Ooh, that's crazy. When you
so like you said, you live in your own little bubble. You talking crazy. You got a good job at some place. You think you're something.
They found a way to take, but I'm saying they found a way, and Jalen was good on TV too. They found a way to what? They found a way to take him off everything, man, and kind of put him into the shadow zones, make him do the podcast thing with Jacoby. It was Jacoby and him. Make him do that kind of thing. You know, don't put him out in the out.
They shrunk him.
Yeah, they shrunk him. Exactly.
They shrunk him.
And what I'm telling you, bro, when I'm telling you about this, man, the reason why this is exposing the NFL, because this what makes the Colin Kaepernick thing real. Because see, what happens is once they make a decision, who's going to be the first to sign them now? See, because everybody going to look at each other now. Well, we can't do it because you're going to look for all the reasons.
You got to answer for it. Remember something. When you sign him,
that's what I'm saying.
You're going to have to answer for not picking him 7 or 8, 9 times.
So now I got to welcome him in. Think about the team that's going to be under the burden that's going to have to draft him. Now I got to welcome you in, and I got to explain to you why we didn't pick you earlier. Because when I get you, I can't get you not knowing that it's a chance that you may end up being our starter, our franchise guy. Literally, our friend. Forget about everything else. Paradox. This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. There's only 2 quarterbacks that was drafted that should be drafted this year, looking at as franchise guys, and it's Shedeur and it's Cam Ward. Everybody else you're just taking a chance. It's a flyer. You're taking a chance on.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you don't see Jackson Dart. You cannot tell me you see Jackson Dart as a franchise leader of your franchise, because that's what happens when you're a quarterback.
Well,
you're the starting quarterback of the league.
You know me. I don't even trust quarterbacks. I don't trust it. I don't trust quarterbacks. Outside of that conversation, you know that.
But what I'm trying to say,
you know what's going to happen when you get to the league. You know what's going to happen.
I'm going from the draft board into the inside of the huddle, man. How they talk about quarterbacks as being basically you're the face of the team. So there was only 2 guys that was the face of the team kind of guys, because that's what they've been for their teams ever since they've been on the field, and that's Cam Ward and that's Shedeur Sanders. It's not even close, bro. And Shedeur Sanders even more so by having all that pressure of trying to live up to the hype of what his dad's name is. Think about it.
Enormous pressure
to play under the pressure that he is, with the lack of talent that was surrounding him, and then to put the numbers up that he did. He performed at a very high level under very scrutiny circumstances, very difficult circumstances, bro. I just,
you know what, it also puts pressure, and for Mel Kiper and those guys, it also puts pressure in, because remember, they're telling Mel Kiper. I'm going to play in a minute. They're telling kids, they're telling everybody in America it's an meritocracy and it's fair, and if you do the right things, So remember, they're going against that perception as well, right?
I know.
Is that the idea of it is you work hard, you do the right things, you say blah 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 blah, you do all those things. So when I do this draft board, when I come out and speak about football and about how great the NFL is and how great sports are, it's tied to the idea of doing the right things, working hard, being focused, being prepared. It counters that, and the people it will make you ask that question. Of course, it's like, okay, so what else goes on in the world of business? How crude is the world of business? Is it really about how great I am, or is it other things that play in fact? So people will learn. We will be learning our lessons, through this process dealing with that, man. But let me see if this is the one for Mel Kiper. I think it might.
I think Mel Kiper had the best outlook on the way he looked at it.
Videos.
Yeah. Mel Kiper is a guy. I want people to understand. Mel Kiper is the draft, pretty much. He's the one that's been studying it the longest, been on TV the longest, as far as covering draft in modern times.
I don't think no number 1's
47 years. Let me see. Can I get to his? The sad part is too, by the way, is that they're trying to talk about these other guys. They're trying to celebrate the other guys.
I know.
But you have to talk about this. It ruins the whole draft, really.
You see what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's just
even when you try not to make it about him, what ends up happening?
It's going to come back around.
See.
Let me
And you prove Dion right about what he actually always says about how people look bad on him. It just proves him right.
More work, needs more experience, but the talent is in abundance. For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, all I can say is I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. 5th player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped
rewind
into the 4th round at quarterback.
Please rewind that, because
Andre Stevenson. Now you go get a guy like Travion Henderson, who's a touchdown waiting to happen. Catch the ball effectively out of the backfield, and he will be an outstanding blocker as well. Guess what? He never fumbled his entire career. Then you go and get a Kyle Williams, a dynamic playmaker, wide receiver who was excellent at Washington State. Even when Cam Ward was there, Cam Ward left, they still had more production. Then you go to Jared Wilson, center, took over for Cedric Van Granger this year, became a really good player, outstanding athlete, runs in a 4.8 at 305 pounds, but he needs more work, needs more experience, but the talent is in abundance. For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, all I can say is I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. 5th player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the 4th round at quarterback. That's sitting there in round 4 of other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness.
Look at that chair drop.
Good enough. I don't see went 4th round. Dak Prescott worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion.
That's kind of what I said a little bit earlier in the show. No surprise, Shedeur Sanders.
And now he's not even going in the 4th round. 4th round about to be over with. 49ers pick 138. I think that might be it. Let me see.
This may be Roger Goodell's worst nightmare, because Roger is, think about this, bruh. The fact that Mel Kiper has broken it down to that level where he said, listen, Mel Kiper studies the draft right after the draft happens. You got to understand. Right after the draft happens, all he's doing is looking at the kids for next year, and he's already looking at the kids for next year already. While the draft is like he already knows who these kids are. Like he knows
set up his board for next year already.
Every player that gets drafted, he has a scouting report on. That's how deep he goes into this thing, bro. Even down to the free agencies, man. But they got some weirdos down at the draft, bro. They got check. They got to check. Please check the door at the draft. They got some widows in Wisconsin. But anyway, I really do believe, man, that this right here, what they did, this is going to be investigated, bro. Roger, it's going to be too much put onto them, bro, on why
because he didn't do anything. He hasn't done anything, so it doesn't make sense.
Happened, bro. Trust me. This is. Dude, you're the number 2 quarterback on the board, and you're the only other guy that's like a franchise changer on the actual board, bruh. Like, it's just this, bruh. I just don't. This is insanity,
dog. You know what's interesting? You talk about when we evaluate outside of these rooms, these organizations, we just evaluate players. And we watch tape and we evaluate their play on the football field. But a big part of the evaluation for these NFL organizations is the player and the person. And tonight for Shedeur Sanders, this is a time for some deep self-reflection, because his play on the field would suggest that he should already have been selected. I think we would all agree with that theory, in particular in this quarterback class. There were some quarterbacks that their play on the field, probably doesn't warrant the selection over his play on the field. Now, having said that, was his play perfect? No, it wasn't. There's some things that he needs to clean up. There's no doubt about it. The reason he is undrafted at this point is because of the person that sat with those teams and did not, for whatever reason, gel with them. And that's the self-reflection, because this process is all about selling yourself and trying to put yourself in the best possible position to go as high as you possibly can. And, Shedeur tweets out, "Thank you, God, for everything." And again, I'll just go back to this, Rich. I think it is a night for deep self-reflection for Shedeur Sanders about what he was bringing to the table.
I just see a league, though, that goes ahead and takes people with red flags like it's an amusement park about things that you wouldn't want to touch somebody with a 10-foot pole, but we'll take that person because they're really talented.
Well,
and in this case, what?
Let me
because
push
he
back on
interviewed
that.
badly because
let me push back.
He didn't. Okay, go for it.
I would just say quarterback is different because of what Ian talked about earlier in the night in terms of once you get past the point where you're drafting for a starter and you're drafting for a backup, now that red flag or issue becomes a story and a narrative. And now the camera and the microphone is in the backup quarterback's locker. No organization in football wants the microphone and camera in the backup quarterback's locker.
But
See,
that's
it
also
right there.
maybe
That's
part
it right
and
there.
parcel of a head coach not being able to control the narrative. I mean, Bill Belichick would put velvet ropes around any cameras, anything, and then that would be completely removed. If the Pittsburgh Steelers chose Shedeur Sanders, what do you think? Mike Tomlin's suddenly going to have the narrative consume his locker room? No, there's somebody like Cam Hayward in there and TJ Watt in there and a whole bunch of veterans that can absolutely handle this sort of thing. So I don't kind of buy that. The one thing that I do want to push back on as well, or at least get your thoughts on, is the narrative that I'm seeing everywhere that there are league folks who are trying to teach the Sanders family a lesson. I'm sure.
I know where you're coming from.
Go for it.
No, I absolutely know.
Because that is a narrative that's being talked about.
I absolutely know where you're coming from, because the thought that entered my mind tonight is, if I'm Shedeur Sanders sitting wherever you are right now, and this has not happened, you can't help but start to think it's personal. Like this people decided collectively to come get me. And I can speak about that from experience. I've encountered a few things in my life where I started to think, oh, this is absolutely personal. You've come for me. It is a hard battle to fight your way through, especially when you are sitting there hurting and you know you're supposed to be picked by your talent and you haven't. So I wish you luck with that one, young man, because you're going to feel it. I'm not sure that's entirely true, but it's going to be hard for you to dispel that narrative until, as Joel said, you get that chance, get to the starting line and start to run your race again. I hope he gets that opportunity starting tomorrow.
It's hard for us to sit here on the desk without all of the information.
Without all the facts.
We haven't been in the rooms. We haven't met with them. You're hearing things second and third hand. There's not that many teams that really met with him and went deep into the process, because there are only so many teams that were in the quarterback market. My free advice, to take it or leave it. My free advice is someone who's scouted the NFL and has been in these rooms. If I was advising Shedeur, I wouldn't do it on social media. I would pick up a phone. I would get the numbers of some of the general managers of teams that you met with, and I would call them and say, please understand, I'm coming. There's no cameras coming with me. Social media is not going to be a big.
Can you, Paradox, please pause? He doesn't need to do that, man. See, that's you see what I'm saying? That's when they know something is going on. They're complicit, by the way.
He just said it. He's telling
that's what I'm saying. He just admitted it. Exactly.
Yep,
Exactly. Why does he have to do that?
These are the guys that are winning right now.
Why?
These are the guys. This side here is the winning side.
Why does he have to do that?
Well, you want to play with the big boys. This is what it looked like.
Call them
and beg.
Oh my God.
Bend that knee. Gotta bend that knee. You know
the number 2 rated quarterback in this year's draft has to call and say, I'm not what you think I am. What?
Damn.
No,
I won't get high no more.
You tell me what that is, bro. You tell me what that is, bro. I'm asking you. You tell me what that is, bro. What he just admitted right there. I did not see this, man. I probably would have been. My brain is already. You know where my brain is at. You know where I'm at.
When Donald Trump comes out and says that the league,
that's what I'm saying.
Is stupid, that says, I mean, what do I do with that information?
Dude.
When the president of the United States makes a comment about it and called the league stupid and called all the owners stupid.
They just should have got over themselves and did it in the second round. It just would have been, still would have been like this, man, but it wouldn't have been, it's not what has happened now is opposite of what they're talking about. This is something bigger. No team wants to touch him now. That's what I'm saying.
Even a team that may not have been looking for a quarterback, but now he's in the third round. It's like, well, my guy is a little bit older. We could maybe send him for a couple of years. Maybe we can trade him later on. Like we can do something with him. He's a commodity, obviously. That's sad. That's the strange part, by the way.
You telling me the Rams ain't looking for a quarterback in the future?
That's what I'm saying. Right. in the next 2 or 3 years.
Matthew
long.
Stafford is 39 years old.
Yeah, he's done. Matt's done.
Matthew Stafford came in the league when he was like 2021. He's been in the league 18, 17 years now. He played in Detroit for like 12. You know what I'm saying? He's been in LA for like 5.
I'm glad he got out and got him a ring, boy.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's played forever. No, he came in like if I'm not mistaken, this dude came in the same year that Tony Romo did, either a year after or a year before.
Yeah.
Like it's like 2004, 2005 is that kind of thing. He's been in the
When
league
did
for a
Romo
long
get
time,
drafted?
dog. I want to say he didn't get drafted. He was undrafted.
He didn't get drafted, right? He was undrafted.
When he was undrafted, yeah.
He was undrafted.
Yeah, undrafted.
Sat on the bench behind our boy.
Man, he was behind a lot of people. But
you know what I'm saying? Before he got a chance, he was behind
it was Quincy Carter, then it was I want to say Vinny Testaverde, if I'm not mistaken. Vinny?
Yeah,
was it
think
Vinny?
about that.
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
I thought it was Drew Bledsoe. Yeah.
It was Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Part of it. Anything you might ever be concerned about. I am a football player. I love this game. I put time into it. It's incredibly important to me. I just beg if you to give me the opportunity.
Woo, let me play that again.
That's crazy.
This that corporate. We the corporate level now, baby. We not ain't about the stats. Yeah. I told you, DC.
If you go, I keep telling
you. I have been telling you for years.
Tell them to tell the truth about it. Tell them to tell the truth about everything that they know. They know what's going on now. They know.
I've been telling you for years. You don't believe me. You still don't. I keep telling you. You keep telling me about X's and O's. And I keep telling you about everything else. You keep telling me about X's and O's. I was like, I hear you with X's and O's and athleticism and skills. And I said, but it's something else that's happened. It's something else, but it's not just that. It's other things that are happening, man. It keeps showing itself to me all the time. And that was the biggest highlight, by the way, for that. It kept showing me that, oh, okay, so you have the intangibles. You are a great leader. You are a stabilizing force. You do improve. You can adjust. You can adapt. You never have an attitude. You never say anything wrong. You do everything right. And it's still something else. What he's talking about, this is the something else. This is what I'm talking. These are people who are orchestrating things right here. This guy right here. You go back to him.
Without all of the without all
this should go viral. This clip.
Rooms, we haven't met with them. You're hearing things second and third hand. There's not that many teams that really met with him and went deep into the process because there are only so many teams that were in the quarterback market. My free advice to take it or leave it. My free advice is someone who's scouted the NFL and has been in these rooms. If I was advising Shedeur, I wouldn't do it on social media. I would pick up a phone. I would get the numbers of some of the general managers of teams that you met with, and I would call them and say, please understand, I'm coming. There's no cameras coming with me. Social media is not going to be a big part of it. Anything you might ever be concerned about. I am a football player. I love this game. I put time into it. It's incredibly important to me. I just beg of you to give me the opportunity.
Paradox. Let me give you
that word beg that is tough.
That's paradox.
Ooh, that is tough.
Kenny, I'm saying.
Well, that's humble pie right there, boy. Woo, that's humble.
Was Kenny Pickett better than Shedeur Sanders?
Come on, man, stop it.
These are first round guys over the last 5 years.
I know.
And they're just saying not athletic and all this, but now they're moving into the athletic guys, this and that other. Kenny Pickett, bro. Mac Jones. Mac Jones ain't even on the Patriots team anymore. He's already been moved. Like, come on. What are we doing here, bro? Like, for real? Dog, nah, man.
I beg of you. I beg of you. Woo.
Nah.
But that's humble right there, boy.
Dion didn't even raise his boys like that. They're not going to.
Sure didn't.
Bro. They're not going to capitulate to that. They shouldn't have to. His play should be enough. His play should be enough, man.
I put time into it. It's incredibly important to me. I just beg of you to give me the opportunity. I'm not going to come in there. I'm not going to come in there and ruffle any feathers. I'm going to come in there and work, and I'm going to earn my job, whether that's as the number 3 quarterback, the number 2 quarterback, and I'm eventually, hopefully, going to earn your trust and get an opportunity to play on the field. But this doesn't need to play out on social media. It doesn't need to play out in interviews. To me, I would be reaching out directly to those teams if that was someone I was giving advice.
I like where you're going with that. The one thing that
just
keeps coming back to me, though, is this is a league built on all of that now. Hard Knock shows, Hard Knocks in season, cameras following around. Each team has its own department where the camera's following everyone around and tweeting stuff out and getting this bite out and the whole thing. So if everybody's saying it's because he's bringing his own crew in, I'm struggling with that one because every team is doing that now. This is a whole part of advertising it. I'd really love to know everything about it. I think all of us up here agree we're not in those rooms. We don't know what these teams are thinking. So we're looking at it from the outside. By talent, this kid should have been long gone. Someone should have grabbed him and we do it. What exactly is it? Remains to be seen, remains to be found out by us on the outside. I don't know what the Sanders family knows or is hearing. I don't know what people are telling them or not telling them. I just know that if I'm that young man right now, Joel, it's almost impossible to feel that it's not personal.
Here's my thing, though, Joel. The league has sent a message. Now, they might not like the message, but the league has sent a message. Now it's his opportunity to send his message. That's my opinion on it.
But that message, to your point, and I'm gonna double down on what you said. It can't be public.
No,
it cannot be public. This has to be quiet, and it has to be humble.
Well, if you've noticed, the cameras were not on in the house tonight.
I think that was wise.
Okay,
Rich, you got to stand up for Deion more than this, man. You got to stand. He's worked with Deion.
He's
for
not
over
doing a good
20
job.
You've been around Deion. You know Deion, dude. Like,
but you know what the thing is, though, right?
Not only do you know Deion, you know these dudes since they've been babies. You know them since they've been Salo and them.
They were children, small children, man, in diapers. You know what's so messed up about this? I'm gonna see what he's about to say. But you know what happens though with this, right? This is business, right? What happens when people start saying what that guy in that blue suit just said? Everybody starts to follow that. You know that, right? It's going to be a process of everybody starting to. They're going to flip because these are all corporate people, right? So you're only going to push so much, and then you're going to start flipping to the whole. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, all of us. It becomes a whole snowball effect, and everybody in the media is now on the other side. And like, you gotta act right. You gotta walk right. You gotta do it. And it's like, bro, this man he's crazy. That's how it works. So, and it's a reality.
I wouldn't invite cameras in on my pain.
Deion's a detriment when it's his own son, but when it's Travis Hunter, the kid just
no problem.
He's second overall because it's his talent. He wasn't coached up.
My daughter is being treated for leukemia.
Deion did coach Travis Hunter since he's been in college. Right? Not just at Colorado, by the way. He coached him at Jackson State too.
That's right.
Travis Hunter being second overall.
Oh, I think we all sat up here and gave Deion a lot of credit
it's his
for that.
own son. Oh my goodness, he's got this reality show. He's got that reality show. Deion's going to start talking about my business in front of cameras, and all of a sudden, my locker room's going to be a mess. Unless you have a better grasp on your own locker room and your own organization, and you run it the way you want. And if there's anybody that would know about your organization is run by you the way you want, it's Deion Sanders, who's clearly running the Colorado program the way he wants. And the number of people who criticize everything about him retiring his son's own
Rich,
and all of that stuff. He pays that no mind. He runs the organization the way that he runs it. So why can't that be done in the NFL?
He know this is wrong.
To me.
He know this is
so
wrong.
So much about what you're saying. Go back to when Deion came out. He was so far ahead of his time. And all we heard was people were afraid of, am I getting this? Am I getting that? He still went, 6th overall and became one of the all-time great players. This is why I am wondering, when are we going to get the rest of the story? Because there's so much out there we absolutely can't know because they can't be that afraid. This league never turns down talent.
It's TOE, right? Talent over everything. It's been that way for ages. It's never going to change. So some of this, a portion of this, is an indictment on what they believe the talent is.
But I will just go back to this. As a perceived backup, which now he is, let's face it, right?
This level of draft.
Day 3.
Wow.
This is the whole world as a perceived backup. This league.
Who is this guy? Who is him? I forget his name. What's this guy?
That's the guy. He's a Colorado guy. Whatever. He got his own show and everything. He does all the Colorado stuff. Wow. He went to Colorado. He welcomes Deion in. I mean, he's the guy. That's all he do is Colorado football.
Wow.
I just can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
Time and time again, whether you want to talk about Tim Tebow, Colin Kaepernick, there's a laundry list of guys that would bring a distraction as a backup. And that's the one thing that's not TOE. It's not. And so that's that's the humbling part about all this. And I get what your point is. I'm just saying that the quarterback position is different.
So let me ask you this question.
Come
Now
on,
that
Rich.
we've reached the part of the draft where they're choosing backups, as you say, and there may be a sense in the NFL saying, I'm not going to take a young man who thinks himself as a starter as a backup, thus to create problems at a backup position that we would never countenance otherwise. Does this kid not get picked tomorrow? Does he go through tomorrow somehow?
No, because of what Daniel said. You know, if there is some of that deep reflection, like I talked about, if there's a couple of calls made, and if there's like another almost selling.
So you telling me that this kid has to go into a deep reflection and start apologizing, but he doesn't know what he's apologizing for.
They're saying that
what exactly is he? I'm watching it right now. I'm probably I'm probably, my TV is probably maybe 60 seconds behind them commercial on my screen. They grabbed him.
Okay. That's what they're saying. Yeah, they're saying that Cleveland picked him up. That ain't where I wanted him to go, though. That's fucked up, by the way. I did not. I mean, you know, hey, listen.
They did it to him, yo. What did Deion say? What did Deion say didn't want him to go? No. What was the number one place Deion say didn't want him to go?
Cleveland, bro. Cleveland. It's like
think about that. He mentioned Cleveland out loud.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm waiting for it to show up, though, man. We get in the stream, man. I'm good. He got picked. I don't see it yet, though. I'm waiting on this commercial to come to an end. I'm probably 2 minutes behind then, I guess.
But the paradox, everything we just said still stands. It still stands.
Well, of course. I'm just saying is that my what do you call it? My stomach, you know, my nervous, you know, that's gone now. That's all I'm trying to say. At least he's picked.
Round.
Okay, here we go.
Crazy. So even when you don't make the draft about him, it still is about him. But he talked to the right guy. He talked to Dak. He talked to him. Well, the thing about what's so crazy about Cleveland, who's the starter at Cleveland? He may actually even start this year. That's insane.
What's his face is injured? What's his face?
I think it's Joe. I think Joe Flacco is the starter in Cleveland.
Yeah, Joe. What's his face is probably never going to play again. What's the man that paid him all that money?
This is insanity,
man. I'm happy. It's finally over. Man, it's finally over.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm just glad it's over, bro. He's in the league. He's official.
Yeah, it's all up from here, man. Really, that's this.
Well, Cleveland Brown is a shit show. It is a shit show. They've been through 76.
This is the hardest.
Bro, they done had 76 coaches in the last 10 years. They done had 400 quarterbacks in the last 5 years, bro.
Bro, how many first rounders that went through there? It's
my God, it's a torture chamber. It's a
talking about one of the quarterbacks that we already talked about. Baker Mayfield is one of them. Baker Mayfield was picked number 1 overall, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he?
He was. Yes.
Golly, this is crazy, bro.
And again, they didn't want him to go there. They didn't want him to. Deion, number one place did not want him to go.
I guarantee you that the begging that was done.
I'm humble. They humbled me, DC. They humbled me.
Listen. The begging part that they said it was done. I guarantee you that was done by Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell got on the phone, but like, please, we gotta get this done. Please do not do this, man.
Round 5, pick 144.
I beg of you guys. I think that's where Dak was leading.
I guess I'm the
147 or
Cleveland
140.
Brown. I guess I'm the Cleveland
Dak is
Browns
close.
fan now.
Dak is close. Dak is like 145, 140. I forget what his pick, but he 140 something too.
He 140 something too.
Yeah.
It is finally over with. Man, it's about damn time, bro.
Yeah, I had to rewind it.
Yeah, who's starting? They don't have a starter.
Last year
they had Jameis Winston, Deshaun Watson, Dorian Robinson, and Bailey Zapp. And that was last year. I think right now, I know Deshaun is still hurt. He may not play again.
Yeah.
And who is but it's we're missing somebody.
I think it's no. I thought it was Joe. Ain't Joe Flacco there? Didn't they pick up Joe?
I think you're right. Yeah, things are happening so fast. I think Aaron Rodgers did he end up getting hooked up with Great job, guys. Great job. I'm not mad. I just wanted to get picked. They humbled me. I'm humble, man. Humbled me, DC. They humbled me. NFL humbled me. I hate the NFL, man.
Yeah, he's on the Browns team. He's the quarterback.
Is Kenny Pickett over there?
He's the starter. So he's going to be the the perceived starter, but he's going to be able to come in and play immediately.
I like that. I'm glad he's around Flacco. I'm not mad about that either, by the way.
No, it fits. It tracks. That's what I'm saying. Like
I'm not mad.
I don't understand. I don't understand how you see him play, and you don't see franchise guy your team. I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. Cleveland is.
You think Roger Goodell picked the phone up though?
I think so, bro. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think he begged. I think he begged them too, because he don't have no control over the teams. But I know he begged them not to do this though. It's going to look bad on He told him, okay, say that you guys do this. Say that you guys don't pick him up. You know what that's going to look like on our team? What we're going to be branded as? We already have President Trump don't support this, so that's out. So you don't have that cover. By the way, you're not Teflon donning it up. So you can't hide behind President Trump and his shenanigans. You can't even hide behind him because he's gonna look at you like you're a fool. He's gonna be like, "Y'all stupid. What the hell is this about?" Nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I don't care. Nah. I don't care.
Shout out to Shador, man. He made it. I'm just glad he didn't go undrafted, bro.
Bruh.
At least he got in, man.
Hold on.
That team is a shit show. Let me see, can I pick up a live stream on somebody talking about it?
They don't even look happy in the war room in the Browns.
You noticed that, right?
I'm like, yo, we were supposed to do this, dog.
That wasn't a phone. You're right. I'm looking at it right now. Their faces
that looks like a team to like.
No. What it looks like. Well, first of all, we know they're a shit show anyway. I'm gonna tell you what just happened. They didn't. I don't think the people in that room, the coach and those guys in the room. I don't know where the owner's at. I don't think that they made that pick.
You may be right, bro. That may came directly from the owner's box. You're right.
Right. Seattle makes it. Seattle does the trade. Come on, bro.
Because that's who.
It's more. That's who they're going. Mess behind this.
That's who they're going to be talking to. That's who Roger Goodell's talking to. Roger Goodell's talking to the owners.
Yeah.
We can't do this. Period, bro. Whatever you're going to have to do to talk to your war room, because I guarantee you it wasn't on anybody's board.
To the war room. I think they just did it.
Bro. It wasn't in the war room. But that's what I'm saying.
He went on their boards. They wasn't picking him, bro. I'm telling you, we just saw a picture. They just looking like deer in the headlights. That classic when the owner does something and you're like,
yep.
Okay.
Whoever you was going to pick, listen, it has to be Shador. We got to bite it. We got to take it. It's no because listen, bro. Wow. Not a smile, not a clap, not a high five. That is bad, bro. You're gonna send him to a team that don't want him. This is not good. This is bad, bro. This is bad.
How many quarterbacks did they pick in there? I'm trying to find. We got like 3 quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks did they get? They already got 2 that they picked, right?
No, I don't think they picked the quarterback. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm.
They didn't pick it. Is he okay? They only picked. Shorter sense.
Hold on, I think you may be right. Hold on. Let me see it. Because I may have wiped that out.
That could be wrong.
Because I'm gonna go by and see.
I thought that they already picked the quarterback.
I think they didn't. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh shit, they did. Paradox.
How many?
They picked up the Dylan Gabriel kid. This is not what they wanted to do. You're right. The Dylan
They already
Gabriel
got 3 quarterbacks, bro. They already got.
That's crazy, dog. And you know what's so crazy about it, Paradox? They picked him at 30. That's how you know they wouldn't have picked Shador. Why? You don't even carry this many quarterbacks. So what, they're gonna cut him? They're gonna cut him?
History. Yeah.
Wow, that's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong, bro. Oh my God, I just saw that. You're right.
This is story just beginning.
Dylan Gabriel went.
Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel went 30. He was the 30th. Wow.
And they met when they got him, by the way. I can't remember Thursday.
Dylan, the thing is, Dylan Gabriel's position ranked by ESPN, he was ranked 10th at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That's insanity, Paradox.
No, man. So, like you said, this is the bullshit side of it.
But see, no. The thing is, though, they didn't pick him up to start. They picked him up as the person to be. They picked him up as a backup. Clearly, as a backup, not a starter, but clearly as a backup. They was going to go looking for another quarterback, or soon in a higher draft pick. They was going to go searching for a quarterback in next year's draft. Now they're stuck with Shador because Shador is going to outplay this kid. He's going to outplay Dylan. That's clearly what you're going to do.
He's going to outplay Flacco, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
So what you going to do? All 3 of them. And I don't know what that's going to be. Deshaun, I don't know if he's going to play at all.
You going to sit him during preseason? Like that coaching staff looks very unhappy.
They look stunned.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Roger Goodell put in that call.
You said it.
He begged these people. Look, this is gone too far.
That's all we're talking about.
Dude,
right. It's overshadowing. We're talking about it's overshadowing everything.
The further he drops, it becomes the draft of Shador.
That's
and
right.
all the analysts now they're like this, because this is how you know it doesn't make sense. They already picked their guy at 30. Paradox. At 30, they got their quarterback. Whether they thought it was for the future or backup, whatever it is, they got their guy.
But you know, if Deshaun is not going to be able to play, then like you said, the rookie with the think he would play, and then the backup would be Flacco.
They got 5 quarterbacks, literally 5 of them.
Jesus Christ!
This is insane. You got Deshaun is still on the books, so they're gonna have to cut Deshaun. Deshaun getting cut, bro. After this, Deshaun is out of there.
Well, he got a $230 million guarantee, so he good.
Yeah, they're gonna have to eat that. They're gonna have to cut him though. They can't even have him there. They can't have him in the room.
You can't have the quarterback. They got somebody getting gone. Somebody's gone.
So
2 people are gone.
So Deshaun gets cut.
Yeah.
So now you invite Dylan and Shador there, and the talent gap is going to be clear. They're going to simply like, well, what the fuck? Everybody that's going to be there to receive, everybody's going to know, like, whoa, like,
right.
What's going on here, bro? Like, what? They pick who at 30 and who
and
at
dude?
Think about it.
And it's messy though.
The gap.
You couldn't find some other team to do it, but they always the Browns are always the shit show though. Always the Browns.
I know they got to eat all the sins, and this
they do.
They should have made another team do this. I would have been happy with him going to another, like Pittsburgh. Make him go.
Went to Dallas.
Make Pittsburgh make it. Make Dallas pick him. Make Dallas pick him up. You know what I'm saying? But see, you know the thing about Dallas, the lights.
Yeah,
it's ESPN. It would be it would be ongoing. It would never go. It would never
Jerry
go away.
He loves it.
Jerry would love it, but I'm saying like the league don't want it because it would never go away. Because now he's home. He's back. Yep. He's back where he's from originally. Yep. So he got Dion already still got the house out there.
That cool too.
Yo, bruh. You know what, man? You want to drop the link real quick, man? See if somebody want to come up and talk about the draft. We only talking about the draft, though. This is draft program. We did a deep just 30 minutes, just for 30 minutes, man, just to hear if anybody want to talk about this, bro.
All right.
Yeah, this is. You can't explain this.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm telling you, DC, you already on it. The storyline, it's about to kick off though. They're not gonna allow him to celebrate this. You do know that, right? The next guy is gonna be. This makes no sense. Who called whom? What's going on? What do you got? They got 19 quarterbacks in Cleveland. Look at their face on the live stream. They look like they did not know it happened. You hear me? They look like they know it didn't happen, bro. I need to find. I need someone to that video.
Hold on, Paradox. Right before the pick came in, it looked like somebody got a call and they told them, whatever you do, I don't care whatever you do, it's came down from the league. They probably even had a vote what team can handle this and where we can get less blowback. It's already a shit show.
Send them to football Siberia. Send them to football Siberia, Cleveland. Bruh. I'm mad. I like the NFL league less and less each year. First of all, I'm from Pittsburgh, born and raised. The Steelers weren't going to take them because the Steelers are a conservative organization, and the NFL cannot force a blue chip league to take them. They said, "Forget y'all, we're not going to take them."
But what's your take? What's your take? Why? Just explain it to us. How? From a blue collar, we're not from blue collar cities. You know, me and Parent, like, you know, of course. But I'm saying,
he would have not matched.
How would he fit?
He would have not. He would have not.
Mike Tomlin is there. Mike Tomlin is
Mike Tomlin. First of all, Bill Cowher didn't pick Ben Roethlisberger. The Rooneys have final say so. That's people. Oh, Mike Tomlin. No, the Rooneys have final say so. If who they give their money to. I ain't saying the Rooneys won't draft a black quarterback, but he's going to have to be Russell Wilson type black quarterback.
I see.
Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Mike Tomlin wanted Lamar Jackson. He does not fit the Steelers. The Steelers are not as bad as the Giants, where they will not have a black quarterback, but he has to be. It's the Duke model. Black quarterback, family. That's how they roll. Any other position, they ain't really worried about.
So you got to be like Grant Hill, basically.
Yeah, that's how they are. What they want. Cleveland, they are the sin eaters of the NFL. They're gonna eat that. And Roger Goodell is a Cleveland Browns fan, so he's gonna give them like, hey, you gotta do this for us. Yeah, he grew up a Cleveland Brown fan. So
you cannot look at that. You cannot look at that war room and tell me that these people did not get a call right before it's obvious, bro.
It's bad. It's bad.
They're it's horrible. What just fucking happened here, bro? The head coach. Who's going to call Shadir? Somebody got to call him, right, and talk to him, right? That's what you do. You should be. That war room should be high-fiving. It should be pop champagne. Popping,
nobody was clapping. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't want Shador because also the Steelers are hosting the draft next year. It's going to be in Pittsburgh next year. So, and it's the best QB prospect draft in years. They weren't going to draft one. And they're worried that they're going to talk to Aaron Rodgers and sign him for 1 year. They're not trying to win this year. They're just trying to sell tickets. And they didn't want Shador. So they basically were smitten with just like, all right, we're going to do this. Mike Tomlin has clout, but he don't have the clout. Like, people forget, the Steelers, the Rooneys don't play. There's this word saying in Pittsburgh, don't play with Mr. Rooney's money. Like, nah. So now what these other teams did, I have no idea. Like, because it just don't make sense. It just, that don't make sense. Yes, everybody's looking at the Steelers, and the problem with this, because everybody's looking at Mike Tomlin because he's going to take the brunt of this. That's what I hate. They say, oh, this is Mike Tomlin's fault. You don't let a black quarterback slide, which is ridiculous anyway, because I've been pissed that they grabbed him, but I didn't think he will slide this far. This looks bad on NFL because, like, just a couple years ago, they had that lawsuit where they weren't giving black players with brain injuries a full settlement because they had that proof where the black brain wasn't as developed or cognitive as a white brain. Like, the more you dig deep in the NFL, this shit is like, oh, y'all really just some scumbags. Like, y'all really just scumbags. Y'all ain't even trying to hide it no more. But y'all the only league that can pull this off or have power in football that you made it that way that y'all can do whatever y'all want. It's getting disgusting to a certain point. I'm like, it gets harder and harder to watch that shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut. My apology.
No. Let me ask you this: where did you have Shedeur Sanders as quarterback prospect in the draft?
Oh, I thought at least top 10, and he might drop 20.
Not in the first round. I'm talking about quarterback at the quarterback position. How far you from Cam Ward? Of course, everybody, that's the consensus.
Cam Ward's he's a freak, but he was the best NFL ready quarterback. He was the best NFL ready quarterback.
Who's next after him?
It was Cam, Shedeur. Who was I guess Darton after that. But honestly, it was only a 2-man race for the 2 quarterbacks because all the other quarterbacks suck. Like if we were going to get a quarterback, I would want Cam Ward or Shedeur, and I didn't want no quarterback this year. That was my whole thing. But for him to drop
next year, right? There's better prospects next year.
Yeah, so but for him to drop this low, according to me, I'm sorry.
Do you agree that if he came out last year, he would have been picked at least before the 5th round, even all the quarterbacks that went?
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. This doesn't make any sense, though, bro. That's what I mean. Like this is totally anti what the league is about.
Because like people, I went to the same school that Rob Gronkowski went to and everything. I went to that school. I've been around and played with like NFL players that are in the league now, so I know something about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's all back room. It's the fact. Yes, I don't think the way the Sanders family, like Deion talking all that mess, I don't even think him having to say so where his son goes is a problem. I think him saying it out loud is the problem. Him speaking this stuff out loud is a problem. But they're taking it out on his son because Shedeur really ain't the. People say, "Oh, his son is this, his son is that." Shedeur is actually quiet.
Yeah,
you don't hear nothing about him.
He's the quiet. He's the quiet one out of the sons. He's the most quiet one in the reserve out of all of them. He cracks jokes from time to time, but he's laid back. Basically, he's a laid back version of what Deion is. Yeah, he's the laid back version. Yeah.
Like I don't see nothing where he really gets me mad all that much. Also, I want to say this. I didn't put this in perspective.
Look at Shiloh. Shiloh's the curse. But I think Shiloh's going to be a good pro. I think he's going to
Shiloh. Yeah, Shiloh's going to be.
He's going to end up starting for a team.
He's going to be a special teams demon. Watch. He's going to be a special teams demon, laying people out.
Right. Special teams demon. He's going to work hard. Shiloh is going to get it out of the mud, bro. But he likes that. He likes the grit. He likes the grind. He likes the talk. He likes this type of shit. He likes it. He's going to be like, man, he's going to probably be like, man, you like me now, bro. Like they looked at you like me. Like he likes this kind of underdog kind of thing. So Shiloh's built for this. Shedeur always kind of been kind of like, because Shedeur was separated from Shiloh in a way of the way the people looked at them as far as prospects in the league. People had Shiloh as being maybe fringe, bottom 6, 7, into the he's going to get picked up by a team, of course, but it's either going to be free agency, what you call that, where you don't get undrafted free agent or getting a call from a team, or he's
unrestricted undrafted free agent. Yeah.
So, but
that's better.
This was never going to be the life for Shedeur. Never in a million years. Even since high school, he's been the one that's going to be like, he's going to go first round, most likely, at the lowest, second round, bro. At the lowest.
I don't know. There at this point, there has to be a second league. It ain't going to happen, but there has to be a second league or something because this is ridiculous. This is going to be a shift. I think there has to be a shift in something right here. Because like the reports are saying he made me feel small. Somebody said, how you an NFL executive and a player make you feel small? Like that whole demeaning yourself to the lowest is like players are getting sick of that. Like players are getting sick of that. In this whole NIL deal, you're gonna see players stay in college for about 6-7 years as long as they can.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah, and also I would be nervous because I do think Shador is talented, and you put a chip on his shoulder that he might be good, but it's Cleveland. They're going to mess it up.
Yeah, they're gonna mess it up. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna find a way to fuck it up.
Also,
Cleveland,
the weather's not good. The weather's not good up in Cleveland. I know he played in Boulder, but that lake effect snow that he'll be playing for the next 2 years because they're building a dome in Cleveland, but that's gonna be like 2 or 3 years from now. So if he can make it that long where he get in a dome, but that lake effect snow ain't good for him.
So how many quarterbacks they have? They have Deshaun Watson,
5.
Joe
They have
Flacco.
5.
Yeah, but those 5. Yeah,
they have Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is there too.
Yes, he's on Cleveland. They traded from Philadelphia, and that's what I'm saying. They were forced. They traded from him. They traded a draft pick this year from Philadelphia and got him and brought him to Cleveland.
Bruh. Paradox. This is insane, bruh. I tried so hard not to make this about none of this. I mean, what they did to Deion though, they got back at they got him. They got back at him. But this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work now.
It's not. It's not.
Too late now. It's too late now. He's in the league. He's for all he wanted was to get a chance. But see, this is what's gonna end up happening. He ends up starting for them, or he shows out in preseason. Now it's even worse. So now your hand is forced. So now he's going to make everybody look crazy for all those other quarterbacks. They're not going to even touch the field. They're going to look horrible in preseason, most likely. Dart and them. I don't see them making that leap. They could, but I don't see it. I don't see them being a better pro than Shedeur Sanders. Even with him going to Cleveland, even with him going to a bad situation, I don't see them being better than him, which is crazy, bro.
I just want him to get out of Cleveland.
Dude, why not New Orleans? Why New Orleans do this?
Dude,
why not
New Orleans fans are mad. New Orleans fans are mad. They say you drafted somebody in New Orleans said you drafted a quarterback with 4 broken legs, 2 broken shoulders, about to be 30 years old. What am I going to do with that? Like what are we doing here? You have
one more injury, he's cooked.
Derek Carr.
He's done.
Yeah, you have Derek Carr, and he ain't going to play.
Already injury prone. Yeah.
But it's the Lamar Jackson situation, but worse. Like 10 times worse. I'm like NFL. Like do y'all not care? Like you're like, that's what I'm saying. If there's any time where they need to get a change, like I think that there has to be another league or something that can change, or somebody got forced to change this. I doubt it could happen, but it's just something got to change because that's ridiculous.
I don't know where else they could have sent them, man, where they could hide them. Because you can hide him behind all the distractions of Deshaun being there, and then you got the other quarterback, and he's going to be at the most. Technically, he should be getting cut. He should be getting released at the end of training camp.
Deshaun's going to get released.
Not just Deshaun, but even Shedeur. Like, I know he's going to outplay him, but it seems like he's going to end up getting released and going to whoever he wants to go to anyway. So he may not even be in Cleveland for too long.
That's the best situation.
They draft him and then they cut him. Just let him go and let him go wherever he needs to go for.
Also,
whatever the case.
I can tell you who the Steelers are going to go for next year. I already know. Arch Manning, the Manning son. He's going to be he might be coming out next year. That's who the Steelers want. I already know.
Are y'all going to be bad enough to draft him, or y'all?
I don't know. Up? They're going to trade. What my suggestion? They're going to do what the Chiefs are going to do. Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. Try to make the playoffs and sell the house for a high draft pick. But remember, they're hosting the draft. They put in billions of dollars. Bro, the city got approved for $500 million because the draft and stuff is coming up. So that's what I'm saying. They weren't going to get a draft. I was telling people, like, the city got approved for $500 million. They're putting so much stuff in. Like, they're not getting a quarterback. They're going to go all out for the quarterback next year. And that's going to be Arch Manning. Because he's a blue chip player, legacy. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't mind driving out there, man. That ain't too far from us. So making that drive out to Pittsburgh, man, me and Paradox, we may actually come out there and watch the draft.
Just get there early. Get there early.
Man. Yeah. Because,
and figure out your parking situation.
No, I'm familiar with Pittsburgh.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, may be in Moon, PA. Come drive down from Moon to go get a hotel.
I ain't going nowhere damn near there. Y'all can have it.
You're not going to the draft, though? You're not going to the draft?
I'll probably do the later days. I'll do the later days
Dude,
Bruh.
anything better than New York, man. Anything better than New York, man. That is if you could tolerate, we're used to crowds. So I imagine it's not going to be anything more so than what we already experienced here.
Good point.
Like,
Yeah.
During inauguration. But
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
They're gonna have it. Well, they're gonna have 2 stages. They won't have one because the point. They're gonna have it at this point, and they're gonna have it at the stadium. So, like they ain't playing around. They say it's gonna be one of the bigger draft venues that they're doing. So that's why I'm like, I already know what they're gonna do. They're gonna go all out, and they're gonna get their quarterback next year, and which I'm not upset with. I'm just like.
Could you imagine what it would have been if Shedeur got not Shedeur, but Mashalo got drafted before Shedeur?
Oh my god,
that was a possibility too. It was.
I was thinking,
dog. It was a possibility of that happening. Dead ass, bro. Oh my god.
I think I would have rather wanted to go undrafted if I was Shedeur.
Yeah, but for the league, that would have been a black eye on the league. The second ranked quarterback in all of the draft not get drafted, and all these other guys get drafted before him that's clearly not as accomplished or better than him. The 10th ranked QB got drafted before him. The 10th ranked QB in the draft.
Yeah,
and they're on the same team.
Yeah,
they're on the same team, bro.
Yeah, they are. I wonder, are they gonna get Hard Knocks again in Cleveland? You want them. I want to see that. I do want to see that now because Cleveland is gonna mess this up so bad. It's gonna be so entertaining.
Yeah, this is just shoehorn them in the league, getting them drafted. So
I just need him to get out. Just make it through camp and get out of Cleveland.
Yeah, I think they're gonna find a way to get him out, trade, do something. Somebody's gonna do something. Somebody's gonna offer them something to get him on out of there, get him out to pay some kind of draft, some kind of compensation to get.
And they're gonna take it too.
They got their guy. Yeah. Oh, they don't want him. They don't want him. They don't want this. They don't want him as their quarterback. Their coach, whatever his name is, he don't want him. Is it Dylan? What's his name?
McCarthy.
Kevin.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a certain vision for his team, and it wasn't Shedeur. It wasn't Shedeur Sanders, obviously. Like he didn't see it. He don't want to be forced to deal with it. Now he is forced to deal with it. He's going to be answering questions all the way into training camp. I wonder how it's going to look when they introduce him to the city and to the team. It's going to be so awkward, bro. So awkward, man.
Think about it. They just got off the Myles Garrett situation where he said, "I don't want to play in Cleveland no more." They don't know what they're doing. Like they literally just solved that. They had to throw a whole truck of money at him, and they're saying this because he said this franchise has no idea what they're doing as an organization at all. And you draft Shedeur Sanders after you draft another quarterback, and you trade it for another one, and you sign Joe Flacco. So like I said, it's just an S show. It's just a Sugar Honey Iced Tea show all together. So it. Wow, the NFL is just as shady as FIFA. Like I've been looking at the World Cup and seeing what FIFA does. The NFL is almost just as wow. So
crazy. Paradox, you have anything else you want to say, Paradox? Because we're probably gonna close this down, man. You got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here, Smitty? Last words.
Thanks for having me up. Like I said, as a Steeler fan, I know people saying, "Oh, we should have drafted a quarterback." I'm happy we didn't get a quarterback because everything lines up for us. People are short-sighted. I understand why we didn't get them.
Right.
But
how would you describe those atmosphere you mentioned?
But the other teams, I don't know. Hopefully he finds a situation because him being the NFL doing this to him isn't going to be a good look in the league no matter what. So the best case scenario, the league got to help him succeed because if he fails, it's not going to be a good look. Because also the greatest cornerback ever who has influence of the people forget Deion Sanders is the most influential coach in all of football right now.
Right.
So that's not a good look.
Right.
So that's what these old owners need to realize. Like Deion Sanders has something that y'all don't, the air to the streets. And the fact they got Travis Hunter to go to HBCU, then follow him to Colorado. and for him to work out to be the second pick in the draft, no matter what you say, it's going to backfire. So all it's going to do is make Deion Sanders be his own man on his own island and marshal all his forces. Because Deion ain't going like that. But my end, thanks for having me up.
Yo, you know what? Before you go, I think we're going to draft Shiloh, bro. We need a safety. If we got if we got a 6 or 7 rounder, I think Dallas is going to draft him, bro.
Cowboys.
I think we are. Yeah, I think we're going to bring him. Yeah, I think we're going to bring him home. I think that's what. If they have a late draft, I think they're going to do Sanders that solid. They're going to draft Shiloh. If we get a 6th and 7th pick, I think we already got a running back. We got a linebacker. Yeah.
Yep.
If there's no receivers available, yeah, we're going to draft them. It has to be a receiver that's worth taking, man, because we need it for special teams. We need a special teams guy anyway.
He can play for special teams, and he's a hitter.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a hitter. Yeah. Yeah. And then, we love the flash, man. We love the storyline. And Deion will love that too. Deion will love for one of his boys to play in Dallas. I know he would. So, yeah, why not Shiloh?
Deion did most of the talk. I'm trying to think of Deion does most of the talking. Only thing that he does a rollie where he flexes his wrists. That's the only thing. But Deion does most of the talking. That's why I'm like, what does Shador do? And maybe his interview skills aren't that good. That's the only thing. But I'm like, it can't be worse than Johnny Manziel or Baker Mayfield or Ben Roethlisberger for these people. So
Exactly. Are you kidding me? People have sexual allegations against. No, this is nonsense. What they have used against him is try to make it his leadership, or he's not this, he's not that. That's all fluff, bro. This is all about this. This was about Deion and the narrative that he carries and the stuff that he did that was surrounding those kids. That's it. That's what that was about.
Deion said he's not going to Cleveland.
We have expectations.
I'm just saying.
How
like,
do you
know what he
coach
said,
through
right?
this
Watch this.
draft? What have you told him to really focus on? The further you get away,
because opportunities are far and slim. And when you maximize it, you get that opportunity.
He said it on a different show,
to the next level. And some of our
America has seen your son Shador throw a football. Speaking of maximizing moments, have you given him any advice as he's about to throw in about 30, 45 minutes from right now?
Shador is the dog, man. Shador is him. Shador is cool, calm, collected, like always under control. Don't get too emotional. He don't get high. He don't get low. He got 4 dogs he get ready to throw to. Got draftable guys that's going to get drafted. And he's going to have some fun. And I can't wait to see it. I really can't.
One of the things we were just talking
I
about.
hope Jimmy gets picked up too.
A lot of people are talking about it's like, where does Travis
Jimmy
start
Horn. Yeah.
when he gets there? What position does he start at? And you made a great point about look, there's no question I would make sure he plays both.
Right.
You would be doing yourself
offensively, he's probably going to be a man most of the time, cover 3. That's where he should go first.
Everybody, of course, your son being a top quarterback prospect in the draft, and you're his coach, but you're his father too. What's the process been like in terms of giving him advice about, not paying attention to what everybody is saying about his status?
I don't need to give him advice at this point, man. Come on, he's been bred for this. He's been trained for this. He's a Darren Sanders. That comes with ridicule and ignorance and adolescence comes with that. But we're built for this. If it's anybody built for this moment, built to go
people ain't used to that,
really
man.
not good and take it to the next level, it's him. And the 2 best qualified players to go to organizations or franchises and adapt and make sure they're successful is he and Travis Hunter. They've done it.
You see Shiloh there on the camera as well.
My dog ran a 4.5.
I saw him come up on me. What'd you say? What did he say to you?
Yeah, he a lot faster than people thought he was too.
What kind of car?
That was the deal, wasn't it?
He bigger than his dad, though.
Yeah. So he ran a 4.52. You're not getting the car, but I'm proud of him.
What you want to
That's pretty good. 4.52 for a safety. That's pretty good now.
Some people are saying, why bother come out here and catch passes from Shador for one last time? Did you have any message to him about what the value might be?
Those guys have a relationship, not just, I'm talking about, let's play this song one more time. Let's play this beat one more time. And I love
next year as you continue to build this thing back into the national power that it used to be at one time.
I want to consistently bring in these players that can take us. We do.
Yeah. There are for Colorado football. What's next? What do you want to get done next year as you continue to build this thing back into the
not get the car, but I'm proud of him.
What you want to get him now instead?
One last time. Did you
it was established like they are
back into the national power that it used to be at one time?
I want to consistently bring in these players that can take us to the next level. That can be at showcases like this, doing the doggone thing. We want to consistently do that, not just at the skill positions. but at the defensive line, the offensive line positions, the tight end positions, all those positions that they
Cleveland and New York, the Giants, who all need a quarterback in this year's draft.
There we go. There we go.
that we have our hands on.
Right.
That's what I
We
was
do.
looking.
There are, of course, all 32 teams here, but
There
three
we
at
go.
the top.
Gotta be.
There are.
It gotta be.
That part's confirmed. All
That's right.
32 are here, but at the very top, you got 3 teams in Tennessee, Cleveland, and New York, the Giants, who all need a quarterback in this year's draft class. I'm sure there's been some questions asked to you from members of that organization.
I
What
don't
are they
care
most
what they
interested in
go.
finding out?
They've done all their homework. They just want to see them get down today.
Have you ever seen an owner on a pro day before? That's a first for me.
It's the first for me. I haven't really been to these pro days yet, but I'm happy. I'm excited. We don't have no preference of which team.
Okay.
But I'm excited. We already won, man.
Yeah.
Do you understand? We coming from
So
HBCU.
he cleaned that up then.
We coming
Okay.
from Jackson.
Yeah.
We've already won.
So you need to go ahead and pull out that whole "do I look stressed" thing that you did to the media the other day. You know that got me.
Put the shades off.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta put the shades
Hey,
off on.
you know what I mean? But we were talking earlier as well, though, about look, not every team is a great fit.
Right.
They just aren't. So
They're not.
you know your son better than anybody.
Yes,
You've
I
been
do.
with him. I mean, clearly. What do you think Shedeur needs in order for an organization to get the best out of him? What kind of if you were
Understand
they
it,
should be asking you.
They
those
need
questions.
a relationship. They need someone that is not afraid to communicate
Right.
with a young man to understand what he sees.
Right.
This is not a fool. This man has seen everything.
Yeah.
So you got to understand and be keen to what he sees as well, not just what you see.
Right.
You got to see this thing from both sides.
Right.
Because he's going to elevate your program or your franchise if you guys can see things together.
Right. Right.
And it does seem like throughout this process, people are connecting him to certain teams. And one of the questions, you just sort of touched on this a little bit, but hey, is how much does the father, Deion Sanders, want to be involved in where his son lands?
What would
You
I
wanna
be
put that to
involved
bed?
for?
Like, yeah.
This is my show. I got this. I'm the band director here. I'm good.
Yeah.
To play for.
Whoa.
This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. A couple teams that I won't allow him to play for.
Whoa.
This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it. Ain't
And
no
if
way
he
in the world.
doesn't listen to you,
Who? No, you must mean not my son.
have you told him privately who you would like for him to play for?
It's not like who I would like for him to play for. It's a couple teams that I won't allow him to play for.
Whoa.
This is my profession. I know what's
Okay. Maybe he didn't say Cleveland specifically. Maybe I'm reading too many.
No, yeah, he didn't say. I think it was a rumor that's one of the teams he didn't go. But to be honest, most likely he didn't want to go to Cleveland because no player. My brother playing in the pros, and he said, "I don't want to go to Cleveland. I don't mind it." Most players do not want to go to Cleveland because they know how bad that franchise is.
Yeah.
So
just ran poorly. Just ran very poorly.
But that they taking out. I'm still trying to figure out what did he do. I'm like that's just his daddy. Like y'all think his dad's gonna be involved?
Yeah. Clearly, Kevin O'Connell or whoever it is that's there in Cleveland, the head coach, he don't want Sanders, bro. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want all that. That's clear.
Mm-hmm.
That is clear, bro. He did not look like a happy person.
Nobody did.
He did not. And the black dude, even the black general manager,
the GM,
he wasn't happy either. So I don't, not something that they wanted to do. And they was forced to.
Right. Phone call from up top.
You look at these other war rooms and they high-fiving, they hugging each other, and they're drafting receivers. You tell them you get a player that's basically ranked in the top 10, top 15 of the draft, and you get him in the 5th round, no matter what the position is, and you're not ecstatic, you're not over the moon by getting that gift of a transformative type of player.
You know what? Jimmy Haslam told. I think Jimmy Haslam got the phone. The owner of the Browns got the phone with Roger Goodell and made that pick because he's the one that picked Deshaun Watson. He's the one that made that deal, gave him all that guaranteed money.
Right.
People say Jimmy Haslam, you can convince him to do moves. So I bet Roger Goodell talked to him like, "Come on, do us a solid and everything."
He probably said, "This is on me too. Like this will be on me. Like this is a favor that you're doing for me as the commissioner of the league." If that's his team, you said that's his team, right? So
that's his team.
It makes sense. It makes sense. He would have a direct connection to them. Yeah, makes sense. I know a call was made. I know that.
Bro, you can tell.
Yeah, that was done. That was
But
definitely done.
the NFL dudes, like, y'all can't hide nothing. Pick a better team at least. Like the team that has 4 quarterbacks already drafted one.
They got early too, early in the second round. Got him at 30.
I want to say shout out to my family. They got drafted. Excited. You know, my people just got drafted, right?
Yeah, hey, shout out to him. Congratulations to him. That's always a blessing.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. He was just at my brother's wedding just
Oh,
last week, 2 weeks ago.
Congrats, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. Just met him actually.
Congrats, man.
That family member. You know, I got family members in the league.
It's always a good thing.
I have a couple
He went third
cousins.
round.
Oh, that's still good. That's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I still consider you elite. If you third round, I consider that elite still.
Yeah, lead is starter status. That's still starter status, man.
Mm-hmm. Third round means that they see you as a starter.
Yeah.
Fourth is a toss up. Anything less is like you might have a shot.
Teams, special teams making a team. You know, like they can cut you. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
like
That's sad. I was so focused on Shador, I forgot. That's terrible.
You forgot to even put the thanks message, man. Good job going to the league.
I'm sending messages out now to that side of the family. That's funny though.
Man,
I totally forgot. I just thought it just dawned on me just now. We were talking about Shador. I was like, oh, that's right.
Who did the Cowboys get?
We just picked up I think I want to say a linebacker.
Yeah, Sherman James from Florida.
Yeah, Sherman James is good. Yeah,
y'all fixing that defense, right?
Defense, and then got the running back out of University of Texas. The fast kid. I forgot his name.
I know you're talking about. Yeah,
we ran like a 4.3 something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Shit. We got a defensive lineman. It's sad. The defensive lineman's mother was on life support when he got drafted, and she passed right. He went and told her he got drafted. She passed right after. Like literally, right? Yeah.
Wow.
She had a stroke. Detroit.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you good? You good. Derek, I forgot his last name, but yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh. But he's in Pittsburgh. I'm like, wow. Then we got yeah. Then who did we get? We got a running back from Iowa, that big. Basically, we got Najee Harris replacement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so y'all gonna let Najee start for one more year, then go?
No, he's gone. He's
out of there now.
He's at LA. He's in LA. I like Najee. The Steelers kind of misused him. They're trying to make him a zone power. They were trying to make him a zone scheme running back when he's a power back. Now they got an actual zone running back who can about 6'1", 224. Then and we didn't have a second round pick. That was our third round pick because we traded for DK Metcalf. Then after that we have we got this edge rusher from Ohio State. That's all we got so far. So we'll see what happens so far, but just a lot of
edge, a lot of edge. A lot of people got like a lot of those edge players, defensive tackles coming up the field. A lot of those rush kind of tackles got drafted this year. So yeah, it's a little bit different, man. They went after a lot of different guys now. So
yeah, I noticed that. It's not a lot of receivers win. It's more meat and potatoes. Really, just like your guys, because teams been running the ball a lot more. I would say, like when we faced Baltimore, they pushed us. Oh man, that was ugly. In the playoffs, like Derrick Henry killed us, so we're kind of pissed about that. So what we're trying to remodel what the Eagles are doing. We're going to have depth at the defensive line and interior defensive line, a whole bunch of linebackers, stop the run. Because one of our assistant general managers from Philadelphia. That's why they brought him in. We're just going to copy what Philadelphia is doing.
Yeah, Philadelphia is the blueprint, man. Obviously,
yeah.
They have built their team from inside out on both sides of the football. They got a dominant defensive line. They got a dominant offensive line. Literally, they can push you around, bro. If you don't have anybody that can stop that push reasonably, they'll be 3 yards out, man, and they'll run that bitch on you. And you can't do anything to stop it. It's sad when I see people just line up and I know there ain't nothing you can do. It ain't nothing you can do. They on the goal line, they at the 2-yard line, and Jalen just jumps in behind them and just let them just push people around and go forward with Mulata and the center that they got now.
Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah, I think only a few teams stop them. Only like a few teams stop them on that. It's like they went down in successful tries because they're at 90. I think they're like at 80 now, but it's still kind of unbeatable.
They are
So,
80. You sure at less than 1 yard? Or are you talking about
when they try to convert a successful conversion? I think they just do that in general. It's like they went down in percentage.
I have to see
for
that, man.
successful conversions. Yeah,
I thought they was in the high 90s, bro. But
I could be wrong, but I know they went down. I remember when they first did it.
If it's 1 yard and less, like you talk about 4th and 1 and less, dude, they don't miss on that tush push, bro. It's got to be at a high 90% something rate, over 90%.
I remember it's still successful, but they said like they actually, because I remember the first year they talked about it in the second year when they're trying to get rid of it, and they said, well, the numbers actually went down on how successful it was.
Well, they start getting bold at it because now they be at 4th and 2,
good point.
4th and 3, and they still go and do it. I'm like, wow, that's what I'm saying. Like if they get it on you in the 4th and 3, they doing a quarterback sneak. Nobody does a quarterback sneak at 4th and 2, 4th and 3, but they still
also nobody does it like them either. It's not because I've seen teams try to do it and they get stopped. So it's not an easy thing to replicate.
Nah, they got rugby players on Lane Johnson.
Oh yeah,
got Mulatto,
Jordan
Malaga, on the right side, and then you got that center on the inside, and then those 2 guards. They got hogs, bro. They're the best line in football offensively, and it ain't close. And they're the best D line too in football, and it ain't even close.
Not close. That is not close.
They whoop ass up front, bro. Period. On both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Steelers on the clock.
They're gonna make your D line look like trash, and they're gonna make your offensive line look like trash. That's just what it's going to be. Period.
Yeah. I agree. All right, my team's on the clock. I'm gonna see what they got. But yeah, that's what the Steelers want to do. And if I'm guessing, it's probably gonna be probably a wide receiver or if they take a quarterback here, I'll be kind of pissed. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be probably.
That'd be crazy.
I'll kind of be mad. I ain't gonna like. But I just think that the Steelers they're going to go they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. People say they called him, and because some of the teammates that were talking crap on Aaron Rodgers, they changed their tune. Like, okay, we understand it now. So it sounds like he said he's leaning on coming to Pittsburgh. I don't like it that we had to do all this for Aaron Rodgers, but you know,
got to do what you got to do, man. Paradise, you got anything left?
I done got distracted. email it folks to the family.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So that's always beautiful.
Yeah, I found them on YouTube. They got them on the news and everything. That's funny. The local folks. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. I figured out that I might be related to Lamar Jackson on some BS too, some family down the line. I'm like, I don't even know how I can even talk about that. I'm like, crap. And I said I can't even root for him either because he played for the Ravens.
That's funny.
Like it's not even like some third or fourth cousin. I'm like,
I just met the kid. I literally just met him, and his dad and uncle was walking around saying, "You know, he getting drafted. You know, he going to the draft. You know, he going to the draft." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Shook his hand, tell him congratulations. That was like 2 weeks ago. That's crazy, funny.
That's dope.
Just met the kid.
Yeah. Like so, my brother played like 4 years. I think he played 4 years. Just missed that pension. That's the only thing. I'm like, shit.
That's crazy.
It's beautiful.
Oh, dang, that's crazy.
Just missed it.
Is it 6 years to get the pension, right?
They raised it. It was 5, but he played 4 and missed it. They do it on purpose. You start talking to him and say, yeah, they kind of do it on purpose. Like they see, like, all right, you could play another year and get that pension, but nah, we good.
Yeah, they got to pay you for the rest of your life too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think now they're going to try to include health insurance into it, all that too.
It's 6 years now.
Yeah, they're fighting for that now. Yeah, it's what they deserve.
Oh, for sure.
Man, if you ever also the NFL player union is horrible. That's probably the worst players union in all professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
because I like listen to because some of the old player union reps when they would talk to the Steelers, they negotiated and got a 6-pack of beer. I'm like, oh, like y'all really just screwed generations of it. Like they were bad. When I did research on the players union, because I did like a senior project on CTE, player union for the NFL in the 70s, 80s was horrible. Now they're trying to do better with that, but they got a lot of work to do. Because the culture is that like players don't save their money and everything. Like the NBA has a better players union, and they actually cultivated that compared to the NFL, where it's kind of just thrown together. And the NFL's had their hand, then the owners had their hand in the player union, so it always benefits them more than any other league. So that's my 2 cents, and they're about to pick our player. Shit.
All right, man. Thanks for coming up, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, appreciate it. I want to have this conversation because that kind of irritated me. But thanks. The whole door. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. We about to head up out of here anyway, man. It's kind of like now the draft is kind of like that could be about the players and the kids to go now. So hopefully they can get over. But it's still going to be about. It's still going to be about them, though. Yeah, it's still going to be.
But
about
them. Trust me. On Monday, people are talking already. So trust me, they're not. This not going to fade away.
Yeah,
you know that.
I know.
It's not going to fade away. There's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of stories they're going to have to answer. As Cleveland answers their questions and Shador says all the right things, it'll be is when we get to the, like you said, we get the preseason, it's going to turn back up again, of course.
Yep. So we done, man. Let's go ahead and close up shop, man. We did our due diligence. We waited for Shador to go ahead and get picked up.
Perfect.
So that's a good thing.
That's crazy.
It's always like that when we go live, man. So
true. Time is crazy.
Get his thing in, so you good to go.
All right. Well, this is the Code Breaker. This is Paradox.
And this is DC. Until next time. Peace.